Hello, everyone. Welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. We are back for quarter-final action in Euro 2020. We're down to the final 8 teams of the tournament. Probably not the 8 we were all expecting. I think half of them are very unexpected sides, underdogs, I guess you could say, and half of them are the big teams left of the European nations. But we've got some brilliant games to come up. 2 matches today, 2 matches tomorrow, and then another a few rest days at the very least before the semis. But we start off with the underdog against, I would arguably say, the favourite to win this game. It's Switzerland against Spain. And we know, of course, Switzerland, what a game they had against France, one of the best days of football in action on the international stage, probably you could say ever, in terms of the 2 games that we had. And they come back, Switzerland, to face off against Spain, who have scored 10 goals in 2 games after scoring 1 goal in 3 group stage matches. It's a very, very bizarre world for Spain right now. But with Luis Enrique, he came out and he said that he personally thinks that his team are the best of the tournament. I guess they're going to have to put in a bloody good performance against Switzerland to prove that. And to watch this game today and to take you through it, of course, there was only one man who could cover a game of this magnitude after watching that France match. It is Mr. Kieran L. How are we today?
I'm doing absolutely brilliant. Still trying to gather my feelings. Can't believe we've made it this far, to be honest with you. I do worry a little bit about both teams coming back from extra time a little bit. If you can hear me. Am I still here?
I can hear.
Oh, good. But I just froze on the screen. But as I say, the way the tournament's gone, I worry both teams coming off extra time. I hope it's not laboured. And I hope it's not slow because both teams will be more tired. And the miles Switzerland have travelled in this tournament, they must be racking up. You know, if only they had air miles, they'd get a few free holidays out of it. But it's a tough test. Spain are a good side, but I think it'll be a close game. I'm still going to back the boys, of course. Viva la Switzerland, 2-1. I'll go.
Of course, you've got to back them. You have to, or else it'd be absolutely criminal not to back your own side in this quarterfinal fixture. We'll go through the teams in a second. Sean, I don't know if it's in the building or not. He became a YouTube member early on. Thank you very much, Sean. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for joining the membership. Greatly appreciated. If you do want to join, then the button below next to subscribe, you can do. We've got a deal on over the Euros. So if you want to join for a little bit cheaper, then you're more than welcome to. We're going to try and do stuff over the summer with that. While we've got a little bit more free time. Carl's in the building. How are you doing, Carl? He says, hey, guys, welcome along, Carl. Hope you're good as always. Daz has put, hi, Josh and Carrion. How are we both doing today? I am doing fantastically well. How are you doing, Carrion?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Good. And then Rowan's put up the Swiss. Very best of luck, of course. Hopefully, we do get a good performance from Switzerland today. Game has kicked off on my screen, of course. Kieran is watching on ITV Hubs, so trying not to spoil anything today because, of course, Kieran being a Swiss fan, the last thing he wants to see is anybody ruining the scoreline in the chat. It would be absolutely painful if you spoil it for him. But this is the lineup today for Switzerland. 3-4-1-2 for the Swiss today. Jan Sommer is in goal. Back three of Elvedi, Akanji, and the man who will be so grateful that Switzerland got through in the end, Ricardo Rodriguez, after missing that penalty against France, of course. Midfield 4, you've got Vidma and Zuba as the left and the right midfielders, with Freuler and Zakaria in the midfield. You'll know, of course, Jacques is suspended for this game. Big loss for the Swiss because I thought he was probably one of the best players on the pitch in that match against France. And then Shaqiri through the middle, as he pretty much does for most of his international career, plays as a attacking midfielder. And then up top, of course, a really good front two, I think I've got to say, in this tournament. We said at the start of this tournament, very unexpected or kind of unknown what these two were going to do together. But Embolo and Seferovic have been fantastic throughout this tournament. And this could be the first ever opportunity for Switzerland to make the semi-finals. When you look at that team, Kieran, and obviously Xhaka, he's the most notable missing. You don't change your winning formula, do you?
No, not at all. And I think the players that were on the pitch did a extremely good job the other night. And Switzerland are fortunate that when they lose a national hero like Xhaka, they can replace him with a national hero like Denis Zakaria. So it's okay because it just makes me even happier. I didn't lose anything in this game. I think the man I'm looking out for, as always, Stefan Zuba. Thought he was brilliant in the first game. against France, and he was amazing in the last group stage game. So I'm looking forward to him. But as you say, this is probably their best chance because they've been very impressive in recent weeks.
Yeah, they have been. And when you look at the bench as well, there's one very notable player. We said, before the tournament, we didn't think they had many players that could make the difference off the bench. But Gavranovic has certainly been, probably in my opinion, you could arguably say the best substitute of the entire tournament. Scored about 99 goals offside, but he scored the most important goal against France, which was the equaliser to take us to extra time and penalties. And no doubt, at some point, we will see him come on in that game. As for Spain, 4-3-3. Few changes from that last match that they played. They've gone back to pretty much the original team that was playing in the group stages. Unai Simon is in goal. He's got to make sure that he is aware of the ball today and actually does make a few touches. Doesn't want to have a mistake like he did against Croatia. Four pretty much goes back to the original system beforehand. Jordi Alba comes in again for Jose Gaya. Pau Torres comes in for Eric Garcia. They're the two notable changes. Of course, Azpilicueta and Laporte, both in the side. Azpilicueta scoring his first international goal in a few years for Spain in that last match. Midfield three stays the same. Pedri, Busquets and Koke. That's not going to change throughout the tournament. And then the front three, which were absolutely fantastic in that last game, also unchanged as well. Alvaro Morata, I think, has done a very good job of silences his critics after quality few performances for Spain. On the bench, no real changes, to be honest with you. On the bench, the usual players are on there. Marcos Llorente, Yarzabal, Adama Traore, Gaia, to name a few. Not really many changes bench-wise. Of course, a few players actually called up to the Olympics as well. So whether we get to see a few of these players a little bit more or not, we'll have to see with the Olympics about 2 weeks away. And head-to-head wise, which I thought was really interesting, look away if I was you, Kieran. Spain have played off 22 times. Spain have won 16 of them. Their last match, it was a 1-1 during the Nations League group stages. That was last year. Feels like a long time ago, that. Can't even remember it. Spain have only ever lost to Switzerland once in history, which is absolutely ludicrous when you think about it. And I'm going to very quickly find out when that was, because I can't actually remember from when I did my research to when that last game was. But I can answer you, that last defeat that they took to Switzerland, was in 2010 at the 2010 World Cup, 1-0 win for Switzerland. Ever since then, they've never won a game in history against them, or ever, even before that, won a game in history. As you can see, 5 draws, 1 win, 16 defeats for the Swiss. However, they've drawn the last 2, so that's a little bit of a positive for them.
Well, there we go. Get them to pens. We know we can take them. Let's just skip this nonsense football. 90 minutes of nothing, and then we'll get to penalties. But what's your prediction, Josh? Because I've said mine. I'll go 2-1 to the Swiss. What's yours?
I think it's going to be... in the back of my mind, I think today's going to be a bit of a slow burner game. I don't think it's probably for the first 20 or so minutes going to be played at a great pace. I think, as you said before, both teams going to extra time is going to be fairly tiring enough. And that the break now between days, specifically for this section of the tournament, there's not much of a break in between the last match. So there will be a few tired legs out there, specifically when we get an hour in. That's when I think we'll get substitutions. But I'm going to say Spain are going to win this 1-0. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game, and it's going to be the finest of margins, in my opinion, that decide this game. But it wouldn't surprise me if Switzerland took them all the way to penalties again, because I think they could. It just depends which Spain turn up. The finishing Spain that we saw against Slovakia, or are we going to see the Spain that played against Sweden?
Yeah, and that's the difference between the two sides. We saw they are vulnerable defensively. I mean, up until the game against Croatia, they hadn't been tested at all in terms of their defensive barriers, and they were hard to break down. But Croatia proved once you've got them on the ropes, you can get the knockout blow. Unfortunately, late on in the game, I think a few tired legs cost Croatia. But we'll have to see, because I do feel, as you say, I think it will be a slower start due to the fact that these guys have literally just played, 120 minutes not too long ago. So, but hopefully it picks up.
Well, hopefully so. I think as well, I think a very important thing for Switzerland is try and hold possession. I think when Croatia got the ball, especially in that last 10 minutes of the game, and I know obviously the urgency begins to build as you get close to the final whistle. They were 3-1 down, so they had to go for it. But when Croatia got the ball and they held possession, it caused all forms of chaos for Spain, because we've seen, and I think everybody and their mothers know, that the way that Spain work is that they hold the ball, they pass it round, they will very comfortably and calmly wait for spaces to open up. And I think if Switzerland, and I wouldn't say change the tactics what they've done before, because I think they could play very similar to what they did against France, but if they can hold the ball and use it wisely, then, as I said, I think they can get in behind this Spain defence, because we've seen the frailties at points. Yeah. But it all depends on whether or not that they can break them down. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think we saw in that second half, when they kind of started putting the ball up and letting the Croatian players try and have an aerial battle with the centre-halves, the Croatians won most of the aerial battles, which is where Seferovic might be key today in terms of kind of bullying Laporte and Pau Torres a little bit, because we have seen it in the tournament. Lewandowski, for his header, just was a little bit stronger than Laporte and ended up putting the ball in the back of the net. But hopefully we can have a good game.
Hopefully so. We'll quickly go through the comments. Quite a few of you in the building. Hope you're all good. Louis Ashton celebrating about getting Billy Gilmore. Good signing for you. Be looking forward to seeing him in a Norwich next, this season that's coming up. Tubbs is in the building. How are we doing, Tubbs? So you're good as always. He's put, hey, lads, with a big smiley face. He's put, let's go Switzerland. He's hoping that the Swiss can go out there and get a very good result today. Sean saying, no worries, lads, with the subscription. Switzerland have to go through, as it would be a big plus.
Yeah. The flag is a big plus. Oh, it's 1-0 Spain. Why have you just done this to me? Why have you done this to me? It's come off Dennis Zakaria as well. And Jordi Alba's giving him a 1-0 lead. Josh, you're evil.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I could have sat there and reacted to it, but I kept a straight face.
And I can't believe it. We thought it'd be a slow start, but Jordi Alba just hits it, and Zakaria just flicks out a leg to try and kind of get in the way of the shot. And what an awful start for Switzerland and for Dennis Zakaria as well.
So unlucky as well. Just sticks the foot out. And we've seen goals like that in the past, own goals where players will try and stick the foot out to block it, and in the end it actually comes off and it's a ricochet into the back of the net. But it's one of those, isn't it, where it's a scuffed effort from Jordi Alba, and that would have easily been saved by Jan Sommer, but the foot stuck out by Zakaria. It deflects it away from Sommer. There's nothing he can do. About 7 minutes from when the goal was scored, Switzerland already find themselves 1-0 down, and the worst possible start for them.
Yeah, got a mountain to climb now. But let's see if they can. They've done it once against the French. Let's see if they can do it against the Spaniards. And I can't believe it's Dennis Zakaria as well. Poor man.
Oh, it's painful as well, because I saw the goal go in and thought, I can't react to it while I'm talking, or else you're going to know that something's happened at the very least. But Kyle's put, don't see an easy game for Switzerland. Need to take the chances when they get them.
Well,
it's still going to go 3-0 Spain. Well, you've got one of the goals already on the board, Kyle, so you're off to a good start. Daz predicted, very interesting prediction for you, Kieran. He's gone Michael Oliver, obviously the ref for this game. He's gone 2-2, extra time 3-3. And then he's gone for Switzerland to beat them on Spain on pens again, 5-4.
This is your 3-3-4-4 thing from the France game. I mean, it ended up being true, or half of it did anyway. So maybe I'd like that again.
We'll have to see if Daz maybe is the oracle and lightning strikes twice for them. And then seeing a few of you other comments as well. While that goal did go in, Daz did ask, and I'll come back to this one in a second. Who do you think will play tomorrow against Ukraine? I'll come to that one in just a moment's time. But Tubbs obviously reacting to the goal. Rowan saying, oh no, Dennis. But he does think that this game's got goals in it. It's going to go 4-3 Switzerland. So that's what we want to see.
Yeah, I'd be delighted, but it's just a lot at this point. And Spain look very good as well.
Yeah, they look really up for it in this first 10 minutes. I would read out Tubbs' other comments, but I feel like you would not.
Just ignore them. No, I saw them. Let's just move on. Pretend he doesn't exist.
I'm not going to read it out, but that's the comment for those of you wondering. There you go. Sean put, bloody hell, I've jinxed it now. Sorry, Kieran.
Yeah, it's all right.
And then Louis put could well be the first Geordie to score in a Euros knockout game since Alan Shearer. Are you Peter in disguise, Louis?
That's very good. That is very good. It surprises me that Jordi Gomez, former Wigan player, never got on the score sheet in the Euros. Imagine.
Oh, imagine. Jordi Gomez, what a player he was back in the day. But I'll go back to Daz's comment very quickly before I let you take the reins. He did ask us, what do you think we'll play tomorrow against Ukraine? Because I don't think we'll play three at the back again.
No. I think we'll go back to the 4. And I think you take out maybe Walker and you bring in Jack bloody Grealish, please. And then Saka looked good. I'm just wondering about freshness. Maybe Saka for Foden or something like that as a little bit of another change. Because, I don't know. That would just be my thoughts.
I probably would go revert to the 4-2-3-1, play the same team that we played in the first match, but obviously don't have Trippier on the left, have Shaw on the left.
Yeah.
And in the front three, I'd have Grealish on the left, Mount in the middle, and Sancho on the right. Because I think now's the point where there are going to be people screaming out to see Sancho. Now he's obviously on the move to Manchester United. There's going to be a lot of fans, I think, wanted to see him. And I think against Ukraine might be a perfect occasion to play him.
Well, yeah, but Southgate's got to play Sancho. And for some reason, that just seems to be not a thing. And no, I don't want to drop Sterling, obviously, and I don't think he should be dropped. But I'm saying, like, how are we going to know if Sancho can take the reins if we never played him? Like, how do we... Southgate has the ones he trusts, which I understand. But he took a gamble on Saka. It worked. You take a gamble on Sancho maybe against Ukraine, but I don't think he's going to be taking risks like that in the knockout stages. I don't know why. I just don't think so.
Nah, you're not right. And to be fair, I forgot about Sterling. So what I'd probably do then is I'd probably play Sterling on the left, Grealish in the middle, and then Sancho on the right, and then bring Mount off the bench and play it that way. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens because that should be a good game tomorrow, that one. But either way, we're about nearly 15 minutes into this game on my screen. To say what was more worrying, Izakari's reaction on the own goal. He's already messing up his mind. Don't say that, folks.
No, it must be hard, though. You get brought into the team because he's not played many minutes throughout the whole tournament. He gets brought into the team to replace the man who had a man-of-the-match performance. And, you know, you want to do it yourself justice. And then he makes that sort of mistake. But all you can do now is work on it and maybe atone for that error later in the game.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if they can. And hopefully it should be a good game indeed. I'll let, obviously, Kieran take the reins for now. I'll jump back in every once in a while. And hopefully we can see Switzerland get back into it because so far, so good for Spain. And we'll have to see what goes on. But 1-0 right now. And let's hope they can get back in it fairly soon.
Thank you, Josh. We'll bring Josh in if we have any goals or anything like that. But I hope you're all well in the chat. This was not the start I envisaged, nor the one I wanted. But I hope you're all well in the chat. Nice to see all of you supporting the boys today. Maybe I should never have got the shirt. If I hadn't got the shirt, we might still be at 0-0. But with 15 minutes played, Spain look very good. I don't know if you guys are watching the game. And if not, if you want to sync up, I am currently at 14 minutes and 23, 24, 25 due to how behind ITV Hub is. But as I say, we'll bring Josh in when goals go in. And hopefully Switzerland goals and not more Spanish goals. But they are coming forward again. And the ball's on the left-hand side with Sarabia. It's good header clear, though, by Nico Elvedi. And with all the four club boys started today, unfortunately, not the best start for Switzerland. As Spain, I've got to admit, have grown into the tournament very much so. Luis Enrique saying they're the best team in the tournament is debatable. As tough as put, you're wearing a Gladbach shirt, for hell's sake, good job jinxing it. No, it's a Switzerland shirt. You can't see the back, it says Swiss on it. I'm wearing a Switzerland shirt, mate, which is basically like a Gladbach shirt because all four of them are in the starting 11. But no, it's a Swiss shirt. As the corner will come in, it's over the head of the man at the back post, and it'll be cleared. But no, I'm not. I did have a glove. Well, I tried to get a Gladbach shirt, Tubbs, but it was far too slim fitting for my figure, and I ended up having to send it back. Unfortunately, I ended up getting like I've got 2 Sevilla ones, a Granada one. I don't have any affinity to the teams, but they're all right t-shirts, to be fair. As it's a free kick right on the edge of the box. And I do think I am jinxing it at the moment because it's given away by, I think, Vidmer in the end. Just getting too close to Alvaro Morata. And he ends up going down under the pressure. It's a free kick right on the edge. Wear a Gladbach shirt and watch another Gladbach own goal. Do it, do it. If I had a Gladbach shirt and it meant we'd... no, I wouldn't wear it because it'd mean we'd score an own goal. As long as it's... no, I don't even want to talk about this anymore, Tubbs. This was the worst thing to happen 7 minutes in, if I'm being 100% honest with you, mate. As the free kick from the edge of the box is over the top of the crossbar from Koke. Doesn't trouble Jan Sommer. How are you, Tubbs, mate? You all right? I've not seen you in... When did I last see you? I don't know if he was in for the last Switzerland game. I'm unsure. Or maybe you went quiet because when we're actually being successful, you go away. But, well, good to see you as always, my friend. Good to see everyone. Sean, Daz, and Kyle, as always, in the chat. As Tubbs has put, Germany lost to England while he was wearing a Bayern shirt. Do me a favour, if you've got any Spanish, Real Madrid, bit of Barcelona, I could actually just switch to the Spanish shirts that I've got and maybe they score an own goal. I don't know if that's how it works, but unfortunately, if you could put one of them on, and that'd be great. As Daz puts, would you start Henderson or Bellingham tomorrow? I would start Henderson. I'd just go Rice and Phillips. As much as I don't like it, it just seems the sensible option when they're all playing. They're all playing as they are. You know, Phillips was immense the other night, and so was Declan Rice. I've got to admit. As Tubbs caught Roland's last stream, where would you join mine? You know what I mean? As Louis put, does KL love a takeaway? KL does. He's a sucker for a takeaway, is KL. I'm trying to cut it down. I'm trying to get fitter. I'm doing 1 takeaway a week. I do like a kebab, but I'm a sucker for a pizza. I'm a sucker for a calzone as well. Have you got any favourites to talk, Louis, mate? Have you got any favourite takeaways in the chat? As the ball goes back to Unai Simon, and he had a mistake in the first game, and he did look a bit jittery there for a moment, and maybe that's a little bit of confidence boost for the Swiss as Mbolo tries to take the long way around and does earn his side a corner. Good graft from Mbolo. As yeah, I do, Louis, mate. Evening, Chris. Hope you're well. As he's put, well, I predicted 1-0 Spain. Look like that's happening. As Tubbs has mentioned there in the chat, Mbolo does look like he's suffering an injury. I'm hoping it's not serious, but I think it is. I think it might be a damaged hamstring. We'll have to see. They've got Gavranovic on the bench, of course. Hopefully he's all right, though. As Tubbs does actually have a Real Atletico Barcelona Deportivo. Well, put him on, Tubbs, man. Put him on. As Louis, pizza or Chinese? Oh, right. Chinese, I only really... basically, salt and pepper chicken is my only experience with Chinese food, Louis. I know you've got like egg fried rice and stuff like that. Do you ever have a curry? Because I'm only like even curry. I only experience a korma. So I do like talking about the takeaway though. As he says, by the way, eating healthy. Look at these grapes, guys. You know we are changing my life around soon. As the ball's whipped in by Shaqiri and it'll be cleared. 1 Gladbach player down, 3 to go. That's just harsh, Tubbs. We don't want to see any of them drop at all during this game, and I hope Mbolo is all right. But if not, I feel Gavranovic might be the immediate sub for Switzerland, which is a massive shame. As Chris is going for a Chinese and Indian for a takeaway, Italian for a restaurant. Oh, of course, Italian restaurants are lovely. As to be fair, as are Chinese and Indian restaurants, nothing against them. But I do like going to this local Italian restaurant near me and getting the bistecca al pepe because it sounds posh and it is just a steak, but it does sound good, and I agree with you all there. Indian for a takeaway and a sit-in. So Tubbs is going. He goes home and he has an Indian. He goes out. He has an Indian. You can have someone else. Tubbs is. Sean just mentioned about the Northampton kits. Are you going to pick up one of the Northampton kits, Sean? And also, best of luck for the season. Everyone's back for pre-season now, especially I know Hull and Gladbach players have returned for kind of pre-season. As Daz says, do you think we will get any red cards or yellow cards today? Well, I'm presuming we'll get some yellows at some point. Not sure about anything else as the ball was played through to Haris Seferovic. I think he would have been offside anyway. So I didn't get too excited about that. But much better, more promising for Switzerland. As it, Tubbs, don't start with me, man. one Gladbach own goal on a Gladbach keeper and an injured Gladbach striker. Gladbach stealing the limelight in a pretty bad way. Hey, Elvedi's not done much wrong yet, which again I've probably cursed. But here we go. Kyle, I expected better from you. Xhaka isn't on the pitch, so there's no worries about any Switzerland players being sent off. Xhaka is a warrior. He's an absolute warrior. He's been a beast this tournament. As it'll be Ruben Vargas, and I do feel bad I'm losing Breland Bolo so early. He's had a decent tournament, but Ruben Vargas did make a difference in that game. They were 3-1 down when Ruben Vargas entered the field, and then they ended up drawing it back to 3-3. Talented winger from Augsburg. As Madi Hassan, hello, my friend. I watch football. That is exactly what I'm doing. I am watching the old football. I hope you're well, Madi Hassan. As Tubbs said, Elvedi red card incoming. Yeah, that's about right, mate. Don't let me say a player's going to be successful because it'll just go and backfire in my face, as it usually does. And Sean says, we've just launched our new black away kit, so I think the home kit will likely be the same colour in claret. Yeah, claret is your kind of colour scheme. But if you can pick one of them up for the season, because I know I've looked at the new Hull home kit and I don't know, I'm torn. I might get it, I might not. As the ball goes out to Vidma, who can't get it under control. As Carl says hello to Madi Hassan. He's always welcome. We've got a nice chat in here, Kyle. As I did see, actually, speaking of kits, Gladbach's away kit's been released, and I am in love with Gladbach's away kit. I would like to pick it up. The fact that it's €85 makes me not like it as much, but it's a kit that I will definitely look at as a possible purchase for a bit of as I say, retail therapy. As Koke goes to swing it out to the right hand side, as they have a lot of width, it's whipped into the box and Elvedi gets it behind, and he's done well. So don't say horrible clearance. That is a good clearance. Don't give me that rubbish, Tubbs. Great clearance by Elvedi. He shanks it, but it doesn't go in the back of his own net, which is more than what Zachariah can say. Are you winding me up good? Make your own opinion. I don't rise to your rubbish in the chat. He did slide. Yes, he did. He did slice the ball, but it went behind Tubbs. As I say, that is one better than Zenit Zakaria. So you've got to take what you can. As the ball's whipped in, and that is a brilliant catch by Jan Sommer from the resulting corner. That's quality goalkeeping. He tries to get him up the field quick, actually. Unfortunately, the bouncing ball won't be brought down by a Swiss man. As Daz says, who do you think will win the next match, Belgium or Italy? I'll go Belgium. I like Belgium. I'll go Belgium. As if you look at the stats that they've just popped up on the screen, Spain are dominating the possession, as you would expect. 75% so far, which is absolutely unbelievable for this Swiss side. As we're just looking back at Azpilicueta's header, as Akanji was in front of him, just falling to the ground, and Jan Sommer made the very impressive catch. But 25 minutes in, and I think Switzerland's immediate game plan with the Ebola injury, of course, doesn't help. But they've got to try and get back into this one. As Sean's just looked at Gladbach's away kit, it's very nice. It is, mate. It really is. I just wish they were more readily available in the UK, and unfortunately they're not. But as the ball will run through to Jan Sommer. As Tubbs put, who did Gladbach get or a manager? I'm out of touch. We got Adi Hutter, Eintracht Frankfurt's old manager. He arrived yesterday, I think, or today. It was announced a while back. He was announced at the back end of the season, before the season had finished. As Marco Rosa departed for Dortmund, we announced Adi Hutter was signing for us from Eintracht Frankfurt. So, looking forward to seeing him and his philosophies. It's something me and Ron were talking about the other day, where it's just new managers, you're never quite sure. It'll be the same for Bayern with Julian Nagelsmann. He does not suck, Tubbs. The man finished. He was in the top 4 for long periods. Admittedly, towards the end of the season, it kind of veered off. But I blame, As that's a brilliant tackle by Ricardo Rodriguez. And he doesn't suck at all. Adi Hutter is quality. Well, ask me that after the first game. Ask me that mid-season, I might change my mind. But at the moment, I believe he's quality. As Ricardo Rodriguez, just looking back at the side and tackle, I think Morata is a little bit worse for wear from that tackle. But Spain are in total control at the moment, and Danny almost warming up just in case he's required. It might actually be Sarabia or Torres. It's not Torres. Is it Sarabia or Morata? I thought it was Morata, personally. As Daz has put, I saw Liverpool's third kit before. I haven't seen Liverpool's third kit. Is it good, Daz? What are we talking colour scheme wise? I haven't looked at many of the Premier League's kits, actually. If I'm being honest with you, I haven't seen much at all of any of the Premier League kits. Thank you, Tull. Just kidding. Adi Hutter is class. Well, as I say, I'll reserve judgment. Obviously, I think he's done a brilliant job at Eintracht Frankfurt. As Andre Silva's leaving, unfortunately, for Leipzig, by the looks of it. According to Fabrizio Romano, that'll be where Andre Silva's going to Leipzig, which is a shame for Eintracht Frankfurt, losing their biggest goal threat, of course. But hopefully they can get in a replacement, because they've done some really good recruitment with the swapping of Rebic and Andre Silva. As Tubbs said, yes, Sancho and Varane. Oh yeah, because Daz has asked Kyle, are you happy about getting Sancho? You must be happy to have that kind of all over, in terms of a saga that's lasted over a year, lasted, couple of transfer windows now. Finally getting Sancho, and if you get Varane as well, I was talking last night, I've seen you've been linked to Goretzka. I mean, if you got Sancho, Varane and Goretzka as just the 3 signings, I don't think you could get much better than that. As the ball is whipped out to the left-hand side, it will be caught by Stefan Zuber, who I think's had a brilliant tournament and can hopefully whip Switzerland back into this game. Because they've not had much of the ball so far, as some good work again by Remo Freuler, and they'll earn a throw-in. As Daz is saying, there'll be a yellow and a red. You're not wrong. As he put, Leipzig is stacked with strikers Sola, Poulsen and Andre Silva. Is Hwang Hee-chan still there? I feel, give him another season. Hopefully he can bed in a little bit more. They've got quite a few good strikers. They just need one of them to really take off, because I think Sola and Poulsen were both very average this season. Not brilliant. I mean, in the case of Soloff, was relatively poor for his first year, but still, as Hwang Hee-chan does, they need to have a bedding in period. Someone's like, Goretzka don't want to leave Bayern. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll leave Bayern. As Cal says, yes, does, but I want more players in and out. And why have we offered Mata a new 1-year deal is beyond me. Mata is done. Pack him another deadwood up and donate them to charity. Yeah, El Margo signing a new 1-year deal. I know Josh will be absolutely buzzing with that. Tom Heaton, you've signed Tom Heaton. So, it's another incoming for you. As Sarabia tries to thread a through ball in behind the defence, but Akanji does very well, and he's dragging it out really well. He's done brilliantly there. And they tried to through Ruben Vargas, but he's not going to outrun Jordi Alba, one of the quickest players on the planet at the moment. Even though he's getting up in age, he's still as quick as he's ever been. But Ruben Vargas, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to win that race with Jordi Alba. I was going to say he may win the race on the other side with Cesar Azpilicueta, as they want Mata to be a playing coach. Mata is taking up Amad Diallo's spot. I'd like to see Amad Diallo play on the pitch. Maybe let Amad Diallo go out on loan. I don't know. It depends on the squad depth, I guess, when they begin the season, because I do want to see him playing rather regularly. As Switzerland are just going to play it back to their goalkeeper. And I've got to admit, even though the goal has gone in, this has been played at a decent tempo, but it's just been a lot of Spain controlling the ball and not much else, really, to be honest with you. They faceted a few opportunities. But besides the kind of freak goal, I think they'll be happy with how the game's going, because when they have the lead, they're one of the more frustrating teams to play because they keep the ball so well. As the ball's back with Sommer again, and it'll be a long ball up this time to Xherdan Shaqiri, who he does well, to be fair, to win the battle with Busquets. As he's put, well, United is linked with Zakaria. Yeah, I've seen apparently. The thing is, you don't know what you can trust in terms of these sources. I trust Romano, and don't call him an own goal specialist, Tubbs. It was one time, like early in the game, just a bit. It was unfortunate. It wasn't even an own goal. It was on target anyway, so it wasn't even an own goal. But no, I've seen like Zakaria and Embolo. Apparently, we're all like. They're ready to move on from him. I'm not sure I'm convinced by both of them being able to leave, but you never know. As the ball will drop for Switzerland in the box, and they will earn their team a corner. As I think we're done for signings, but we'll love to celebrate the final decisions and the missing money for the stand case. Is that with Northampton? I mean, you were talking about all the deals you made. Still a long way to go in the summer, though. If someone comes available, you might be able to sneak another one in, Sean. And maybe if lose someone, bring someone else in. All the young goalkeepers they could have brought in Tom freaking Eaton. It's at least... No, Tom Eaton is not young. I think it's for the English qualification, Kyle. I think it's for you need a certain amount of English players registered. So you might as well waste it, basically, on a few backup goalkeepers. Hence why Lee Grant was brought in. Hence why Scott Carson was at Man City. They just bring him into... probably why Joe Hart was at Tottenham, just to make the English registration a little easier. As Manuel Akanji did just have a free header. It was miles over the crossbar, so I didn't react. But he should have been doing a little bit better with it. Should have Akanji there. But hopefully this is a little bit of a turning point for Switzerland if they can get their foot on the ball. It's a good ball down the right-hand side, actually, which Shaqiri will reach. He will keep in play. And he will earn another corner for Switzerland. And this is much better in the last couple of minutes from the Swiss side. And now, hopefully, if Akanji gets that position in again, he'll be able to nod this one into the net. Unfortunately, as I say, he nodded it quite far over the crossbar last time. But Shaqiri stands over the corner. This time it's whipped in. It's over everybody. I think it will be retrieved, though, by Zuber at the back post. And it'll be a goal kick, so it's absolutely come to nothing. And I think that should have been a corner in the end, but a few moments of confidence for Switzerland there, that they can have a few efforts on goal from set pieces. But besides that, it's been a game that Spain have thoroughly been in control of, and it's not been the most entertaining watch. As someone said, it's just dawned on me, Xavi Hernandez is the same age as me. And Tubbs, I'd arguably say you've had the better career. You know, in the years you've been on the planet, you've done more than Xavi, I believe. You know, what's he done? Few World Cups, a couple of La Ligas, Champions Leagues. Oh, forget it, mate. It's not worth it, Tubbs. I'd rather be where you are, mate. As we're creeping up to like 36 minutes in this game now. And I can't really say that Switzerland have troubled Spain in the opening 36 minutes. As Tubbs says, he can't do the shit. No, he can't. You're right, Tubbs. Massive glow up from Tubbs. He's better than Xavi. Even if it's not football, other things, you know, he can't do what you can do. He'll probably get people to do it for him, and you don't, you know, no one wants that. As Carl says, screw the English qualification/registration. I want young, hungry blood and long-term players who can challenge, not ones who will sit around waiting to collecting their pensions in a few years' time. That's the thing. It depends. Maybe he becomes backup if you get rid of De Gea or Henderson, because backup goalkeeper, you know, it's not exactly a position you need an extremely talented player in, and you're blessed with two good goalkeepers. Maybe that's it, but I think most of it's to do with the registration rules, which unfortunately Premier League teams have to. I think it's supposed to like boast young English talent and investing in the grassroots kind of thing and the youth in this country rather than constantly buying from abroad. But as you say, maybe a younger English goalkeeper would have been a little bit better than Tom Eaton. But to be fair, it'll probably bring some professionalism, maybe a bit of leadership to the younger players. As Tubbs has said, Zuber has been spectacular. I completely agree. Steven Zuber has been one of my favourite players in the Switzerland side, besides the Gladbach boys. As Ruben Vargas, another player I'm a big fan of, spent most of his time on the bench this tournament, but it's all right. And it'll be a corner for Switzerland. And this is as Widmer kind of rallying the troops there, much improved from the Swiss. Alba gets back on the recovery and gets it clear, but I agree, Zuber has been brilliant at this Euros. He didn't even play in the opening game. Maybe not even the opening two. As Shaqiri whips it in. Akanji again has a header. And this time actually it went over Akanji's head. And it goes to Widmer, who mistimes his header. They're winning the headers from corners. They just need to direct them onto the target to trouble Unai Simon. And yes, Tom's clearly Zuber isn't a Gladbach. Oh, what? Is he not a Gladbach player because he's been good at this tournament? Is that what's coming next? Probably. Probably something like that. Some rubbish. I just backed you up and said you were better than Xavi. And now you've turned on me. Honest to God, what a snake. As there's 5 minutes to go of this half, and I appreciate you all in the chat for trying to keep me entertained here, because it's not been the most thrilling watch. But I think a goal before half-time for Spain would be a real gut punch to Switzerland. And a goal for Switzerland before half-time could be the rallying cry that they needed to go out in the second and be a little bit better. How is Shaqiri playing? He's playing all right. He's getting into the channels a little bit more, like in the last couple of minutes, and he's trying to create stuff. There is moments, though, when he's not involved in the game, and that's what will frustrate Switzerland, but they're not having much of the ball. So he can't, you know, keep possession and create things, but we'll have to see if they can do anything from this. Thing is, Shaqiri goes looking over the top to Steven Zuber, who's one-on-one. He is tackled well in the end. It was offside. Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, it was clearly offside. He needs to send the ball earlier. It's a great run by Steven Zuber. He just needs to be sent by Shaqiri a little bit sooner. He needs to spot the run a little bit sooner. As Thiago is still on the bench. Yeah, it's Pedri, Koke, and Busquets in the middle. As Cal says, I guess there's no point in complaining. United is never going to change and get going. Take forever to get back to greatness. I think you're on the right track with Sancho. You know, you finally spent the money. It's Joshua Lewington. Hello, my friend. He says hello in the chat. Nice to see you. I hope you're all right. I hope you're trying to enjoy this game as much as you can. Good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Let us know how you're doing in the chat. If you've got any questions, pop them in as well, because at the moment, I've not got much else to do, but Spain are coming forward. It's a good ball in by Sarabia, and that'll go calmly into the hands of Jan Sommer. And he says 2 years too late for Sancho. I think that might be a blessing, though, Kyle. He might, you know, that experience in Germany, that added experience, I think will be better for him. He's become a more developed player, a more proven player. Unless you're Gareth Southgate, then apparently I don't know what he's been doing these last couple of years in Germany because he's not been playing well. Because he don't start. As Josh goes with 5-0 Spain. Brilliant. I don't know if you're aware, Josh. We kind of want Switzerland to win in here, but you know, I'll let you stay. 5-0 Spain, fair dues. If I like your honesty. I hope you're very wrong, but we'll have to see. As Sancho will stink Old Trafford up. That's not going to rattle me, Tubbs, to be fair. Maybe when KD's on the stream, just chat rubbish about Sancho. You might get it then, but not. I ain't fussed. As he, I'm just looking at Daz. Where do you think Bale will go? Not many teams can afford his wages, and apparently he's gonna have a year at Real Madrid. So I just presume Real Madrid, and he'll just stay. Sean has talked back on Northampton for a minute. We released 9 players and signed 7 players on free transfers in the space of 24 hours. Jesus Christ, yeah. The man on paperwork had a busy day. Probably ran out of fucking pens trying to sign all the contracts. And the first 5 league games aren't too bad. Port Vale, they're not good now. They've lost Mark Cullen. Colchester. Newport, I think Newport are a tough side. Rochdale and Crawley. As 5 own goals by Gladbach. Get out. I'm actually worried that we are gonna screw up again, but nothing to worry about. As he says, Tubbs, we have plenty of players who already leave a weird aroma around Old Trafford. Nemanja Matic, I presume. I feel Nemanja Matic is over the fence a little bit. As Josh, Fortnite, Spain, football, tennis. Is that your lists of likes? Because it's a great list. I hope you're enjoying Wimbledon if you're a tennis fan. And of course, if you are a Spanish fan, you'll be enjoying the performance so far because you were in control and still probably are, actually. I mean, I think Switzerland, with this little passenger player, up in their possession stats ever so slightly. But besides that, their biggest threat has come from set pieces where they've won the headers, but not been accurate enough. As Zuber is challenged by Azpilicueta from behind. As Tubb says, McFred, the both of them, Matic and Lindelof. I think Lindelof's a decent squad player. Same with McTominay and Fred. I think they're decent squad players. Not Matic though. I don't rate Matic. I rated Matic when he was younger and better. Tubb says at least you still have Phil Jones. That is true. When all is lost, Phil Jones has been at the club 10 years now, so Decade of Dominance, Phil Jones edition. As I've got to admit, this first half has gone quicker than you'd expect for one that has been boring. And I think that's due to you guys in the chat, which I massively appreciate. Oh, it's the pink boots, subs. It's the pink boots. Can I blame that on why Zakaria scored an own goal? I'm just looking. Pink boots, subs. That's what it is. Oh, Zakaria does really well to track that run in his new pink boots that I've only just spotted. Thanks to subs saying pink boots for the win. And Daz, mate, not much time has been added on. It's 1-0 to Spain. They opened the scoring through a Jordi Alba goal. It was a great strike. Nothing was in its path. It went straight into the net via no deflection at all from any Gladbach individual. But besides that, Switzerland have troubled from set pieces. That's pretty much it. As don't link Phil Jones on Zakaria's own goal. You said it's the pink boots. I think whoever wears pink boots must be plagued, because Zakaria had an unfortunate instance, but it was still a Jordi Alba goal. And yes, that half was boring. Josh, do you want to come back in and help me a little bit, lad? Because that was a really slow half, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Did anything happen? Yeah, I think it's as we expected. We said both teams have already played extra time, and of course Switzerland played penalties as well. And we said this wasn't going to be played at a great pace. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it'd be played at this pace because it's much worse than even what I expected for a game of this quality. But I'll tell you something: if Switzerland don't get their arse moving soon, this will be the most disappointing way to go out of the competition, because they've not really shown anything yet in this game at all. Very unlucky, of course, with Mbola going off. Obviously, the own goal as well, which has been talked about quite a bit in the chat over the last 45 minutes. Again, is a stroke of unluckiness for Zakaria.
It's on target, Josh. It's on target. That was flying in anyway. I don't know. It's a Jordi Alba screamer, is what we're going to
I don't think the Euro Twitter account agrees with you on that one. But either way, it was a bit of a stroke of unluckiness there when he did put his foot out. But again, Spain, they haven't had to go out there and push numbers forward and show a sense of urgency. Morata has been very quiet, but it doesn't matter because they've got the goal. Switzerland haven't done anything, haven't had any chances on target. Two of the best efforts. The flag was up for offside afterwards. When Zuba went down in the box, that was miles offside. There was another chance. I can't remember who had it before, but they were offside again. They need to show some form of urgency, and I wonder if we'll see quite a few changes. Maybe not at half time, but around the hour mark, because I think both teams need a little bit of a spark. If Spain get another goal and make it 2-0, I think it's game over. It's done, and I can't quite see Switzerland today getting 2 goals back and taking it to extra time or winning it. If Switzerland were to get a goal, it means that the doors are completely open again for this game to go any possible way. There'll be that sense of urgency back again. But for now, it's been a very, very boring game, I'll be honest with you. And I'm never going to sit there and complain and say about a boring game ever again, because, I always think in the back of my mind, we had a period with COVID where we didn't have any football whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But it has been quite boring. And we need something to liven it up, because right now, Spain are cruising towards the semi-finals on a very, very easy game. And that will disappoint Switzerland more than anything, that they've not tested them.
That's the worst part is, you have such a memorable victory over France. And I think there was a little bit of hangover. I do a little bit think that, especially for Switzerland's case, so much emotion went into that game. So much effort, heart, and obviously, look, that we say the professional athletes, but it's not a long time to recover. And they've had to fly to St. Petersburg as well. Switzerland, have, as I said earlier, I'd like to know the current stat of how many miles they've racked up. I don't know if it's available anywhere, but my lord, they must be reaching tens of thousands. So I want them to go out, and I do want them to give it everything, because they've had a few moments from set pieces, as I mentioned in the thingy, like a few headers that they're winning. So it proves that they can win the aerial battle. It's just, accuracy has been lacking. And as you said, I think Zuba's looked okay. The timing of the run was good. I think Shaqiri was just a little bit late and they seemed a little bit off kilter. And I do think the Embolo early injury would have threw the team off a little bit because they would have had a game plan all week, which unfortunately is now thrown out the window immediately.
Yeah, massively thrown out the window for them. And it's a shame because obviously now with the change of system, bringing on Vargas, he's not a proper striker, he's more of a winger. And with the way that the game plan is, it's actually looking like it's a 4-2-3-1 and that Embolo was playing like a wide left player rather than as a front two and being a striker himself. But it is very disappointing. I'm going to stop for a second, though, because Louis is an absolute legend. With the £5 donation, he's jumped in and gone, lads, this is for your great content throughout the Euros. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Louis. You're an absolute legend. Appreciate it as always. And as I said once again, thank you very much indeed.
I think for that, Norwich are getting European football. Thanks, Louis.
Norwich are getting Champions League guaranteed. Yeah. Billy Gilmore is taking you to the top 4 football next season, my friend, with that donation. But yeah, going back to the game for a second, it needs somebody in the game to come on and make a difference. And again, when you look at the bench, let's not forget a lot of those players on the bench actually came on and played a lot of the game. Gavranovic, for example, I'd love to see him come on at some point, but he did play, a good 40, 50 minutes of action on top of the penalty shootout. So even then, the substitutes won't be they will be fit, but they won't be as fit as they would have been had Switzerland have gone through in normal time and not had to have played another half an hour. But I really do expect this game to, as I said, I think Spain will just go through 1-0. It's a weird game when only 2 shots on target have both come from defenders. There's not been any shots on target by an attacker. Azpilicueta and Jordi Alba are the only 2 shots on target in the game. And that kind of tells the story of the match, doesn't it, really?
And it was generous because Azpilicueta's header was straight at Sommer. It was, there has been a real lack of quality in the game, if we're being 100% honest. You could look at it and say Spain have been unbelievably impressive because they probably, but they have dominated possession. But have they really done much with it, if we're being 100% honest? I don't remember a moment where I was like, oh, we got really lucky to escape that chance from Spain. They're trying to thread balls through, but it's been snuffed out. And unfortunately, Switzerland are not offering anything the other way to make Spain need to take the chances. It's really, it's a really poor half.
Yeah, it has been, and I've got the Spain bench up because I think if I was Luis Enrique, whether it would or not, I think now is the best time to probably play a lot of the players that haven't had much game time in the tournament. I personally think one player everybody's been screaming at to see, Adama Traore. I think this is the type of game where those players that haven't played a great deal, haven't maybe played at all, which of course Adama hasn't, get them on the pitch because they're going to have a desire to want to go and put in a good performance and prove to the manager that, look, you haven't played me in the tournament yet, but if Adama Traore was to bag 2 goals today, would that maybe influence Luis Enrique to think, well, actually, maybe I might need him in the latter stage of the tournament?
There's that. And also, if you're a defender who's just played 120 minutes a couple of days ago, the last guy I want to see is Adama Traore coming onto the pitch. He will run rings around them if the defenders get leggy towards the end. And I think that's one of the good things about having Adama Traore. Yes, the end product is hit and miss on occasion, but when he's on the bench, when you're a defender, he is a menace. And especially if, as we say, you played so much football, as this defence has, because this defence has never really changed. Vidma has come in and Babu's on the bench, obviously. But the defenders are Kanji, Alvedi, Rodriguez, have played every minute of the tournament so far, unless they've been brought off as a sub. So, yeah, I think he will cause all sorts of problems on them tired legs towards the end. If he comes on, because I think Enrique prefers other players. But
I just think as well, when you've got 5 substitutions, make the most of them. If in my head right now, straight away I was looking at players. I was like, right, okay, who would I bring on in this game? I would, in my personal opinion, as I said, I would have gone for players that maybe haven't had as much game time in this tournament. So straight away, I'm looking at Adama Traore. I'm looking at bringing on Thiago. I'm looking at bringing on Marcus Llorente. They are players that, Marcus Llorente played 1 or 2 games, I think, in the group stages. He's booted out the squad. I think he's a very good player to have, whether you want to bring him on as a midfielder or fullback. You can even bring him on as a winger if you wanted to. He can do any job. Obviously, Adama Traore, we spoke a moment ago about. Thiago, we haven't seen much of him. They are like-for-like replacements that can come in. I think the only one that probably isn't like is taking off Ferran Torres for Adama. Very different players because of the way that Adama's built as a player. He's very, bulkier compared to Ferran Torres. But I'd just be looking at getting all of your players enough time on the pitch, get them all fit, get them all ready, because you don't know what they're going to bring to the table, and B, we saw it with France. Even at these latter stages, you don't know what could happen in terms of fitness and injuries. One of these players that has played extra time could pull up somebody like a Ferran Torres or Sarabia, and then if they are out for the rest of the tournament, because we've only got 9 days left of the overall tournament itself. If a player is out for a week or 2, they ain't going to be fit for the final or the semis if they do make it. So that's when those players that haven't played as much might actually need game time. And I think, when you look at the Switzerland bench as well, again, it's a very different story for Switzerland because they haven't got as many players. But I would be looking, and one player I looked at, I'd love to see Latomba come on at some point.
Yeah.
A player who hasn't played any game time in this tournament.
No.
I want to see Fashnat because he looked all right when he came on in that game. And Babu, who didn't play a great deal at the extra time, I think, in that last match. I don't know if he came off or not, or whether he actually stayed on, but he's had a little bit more time, obviously, to have fresher legs being on the bench. Bring those types of players on in this game and see if you can change it up, because usually we'd be sat here saying, right, okay, you've got 3 changes in this tournament. You'll tend to make 1 in the 60th, 1 in the 75th, maybe 1 late on if you needed. But when you've got an extra 2 substitutions, half of your team can pretty much be changed up. And we've seen it time and time again in this tournament. I think Switzerland, funnily enough, more than any other team, substitutions have a massive impact in this competition. A massive impact.
And I think that the most success Switzerland have had really was when they brought on the substitute, specifically Gavranovic. You mentioned players there that you want to see, and I agree, Latomba, he's got a bright future ahead of him, no matter what. So maybe it's one of them where this might not be the Euros for him, because he's going to have probably a massive part to play, I feel, in the upcoming tournaments, obviously in a few years' time. But as you say, late on in the game, what have they got to lose? As much as it'd hurt me to see and watch, I'd rather us lose 3 or 4-0, but we've gone out there and we've put everything into it. We've tried to win the game, rather than at the moment, it looks very pedestrian. They look very happy to be in the quarterfinals and kind of, unfortunately, going out with a little bit of a whimper, really. Like, they've not offered anything. So, I agree. I would like to see, main one, though, is always going to be Gavranovic, because he's proved how brilliant he can be off the bench.
Yeah, and as we said, I think that'll be the most disappointing thing for Switzerland if they do go out and they know that they haven't put a shift in and they haven't tried to get a goal in this game. They'll be more disappointed than anything, because we said before, we're not expecting a France performance all over again. It's very hard as a low reputation team to put in 2 world-class performances. But go out there and really give you all, because obviously Spain have been in the exact same position. They have played extra time. They nearly went all the way to penalties. They have had tired legs themselves, which makes this a much more even game than, for example, England when they come up against Ukraine going all the way to the 120 minutes. England, only playing 90.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ukraine playing the last game of the round of 16. All those little things do add up. And I just think for Switzerland, just go out there with no fear in the second half, see if they can get themselves a nice early goal. And then who knows what can happen, because so far, as we said, Spain haven't done much in the game. And I think they're there for the taking. Just have a go, is what I'm saying, basically. Try your best, because, as I said, if this goes 1-1, this game is completely wide open. It's anybody's.
Yeah, and that's the worst part, because, Spain have been good. I don't think they've been great. That's the thing. But the worst part is for Switzerland at the moment, let's be real, Spain are going to dominate possession, and that's the worst thing for them.
And it's expected. Any team coming up against Spain in this tournament, you're not going to have much possession unless you are a world-class side where you can match them like for like players wise in terms of world class stars. Switzerland don't have that. They've got a hit on the break, and obviously in that France game it was very different because we looked at the stats. It was very 50-50 possession wise, which allowed them opportunities in the game. They're not going to get that, which is why I feel a little bit disappointed that, as I said, I personally feel this game is going to end 1-0 and nothing else is going to happen. But when we get later on, last 15 minutes, last 10, that's when the doors will open. That's where there's going to be opportunities for Switzerland to push numbers forward and break. Whether they take them or not, it is down to them. But we'll have to see in the second half because there's a long, long way to go.
There is, and hopefully it's not going to be as long as that first half was. I actually went quite quick for me. Tubbs was entertaining me in the chat, and so was everyone else, keeping me entertained with questions, which I appreciate. But as I say, my second half is just kicking off. I'm 15 seconds in now.
Are you what are you feeling? Have you changed prediction wise? Are you still feeling the result or
2-1 Switzerland is still on the cards. I will not change it. I cannot back now, So up the boys. 2-1 Switzerland. There we go.
Let's see what happens. I know a few of you have been asking in the chat as well before I quickly jump off. I know Daz and Tubbs are asking who's doing the next game, please, and who's doing the games tomorrow. So let me get it up very quickly on the screen. I am doing the Belgium-Italy game later on tonight, so that should be a very good game indeed. Looking forward to that one. And in terms of the other games that are going on over the next few days, obviously, let me see if it comes up. There we go. Obviously, we're into the second half of Switzerland-Spain. I'll be on about 10 minutes before Belgium-Italy starts. We'll go through the teams. We'll talk through the other two quarterfinals coming up tomorrow. Rowan's going to do Czech Republic-Denmark. That's tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It should be a good game, that one. Obviously, one of those teams is making the semi-finals, which is an incredible achievement. And then Ukraine-England, I have honestly no idea if anybody's doing it. I'm not available for it. But if there isn't anybody doing it, then it'll just be a game which gets missed out because obviously it's not often that England get this far in a competition. So I think it's quite understandable if everybody wants to go out and experience, just the game outside or not. So it might just be the 3 matches that don't involve England that get covered and the England match doesn't get covered itself. But if not, then no doubt somebody, knowing Rowan, he'll probably try and do 2 at once because he did it before and I don't expect him to do it again. But I've got a feeling he probably will try to. But either way, 4 very good games.
Yeah, definitely so. And hopefully this one kicks into high gear a little bit as Jordi Alba just tried to hit it back to Unai Simon and it was behind. And to be fair to Switzerland, most of their success has been from set pieces. I doubt this will come to anything, but you never know.
We'll have to see. Let's hope that Switzerland could come out all guns blazing and get themselves a goal. But who knows? Hopefully it's not as bad as the first half. Fingers crossed.
No, I don't think it will. As Josh departs, thank you, Josh. And thank you for everyone. If you've returned for the second half, I wouldn't blame you if you decided to just, as Josh would, go to bed. As Spain could have had a chance to counter there, and they just didn't have any sort of speed about the counter and any sort of urgency, as Spain will play it around the back. And to be fair, it may not be the most entertaining thing in the world, but it's probably the way they're going to win the game. As Dani Olmo did come on at halftime, by the way. I think he might have replaced Pablo Sarabia, but I'm unsure. I know Dani Olmo did get brought on though as part of a halftime change, and apart from that, I don't think there was any changes for the Switzerland side. As Spain, for a team that's won the last 2 games, scoring 5 goals in each of them, I think the first team to do that. They had a chance to get another one here, and they still do as a Kanji. It's a really lazy clearance, but luckily Switzerland get it away. It's a very soft free kick there to Switzerland. But as I say, for a team that scored 5 in the last 2, they don't look the same ruthless side that's come up against Slovakia and Croatia. I mean, of course, they've not had to score as many goals, especially in the Croatia circumstances, with Croatia firing back in that one. In one of, the most insane games ever. As Louis has asked the most important question, go-to meal deal. He goes for an all-day breakfast. Wait, what meal deal are you having? An all-day breakfast? Is that even a meal deal? Wait, whoa, is this some like... This isn't some like Waitrose meal deal, is it? What? All-day breakfast? I don't even get offered that. Ready salted crisps and a water. I have... Ooh, it's a good question. I think I'd go with, or I do go with, I would like a chicken and bacon sandwich, but not 2 pieces of bread. It's more like a baguette almost, a little bit. Chicken and bacon in that. Crisps. I'm a cheese and onion man, personally. And for drink, drink. Do you know what? I'll have a cheeky Lucasade Sport. It's not my first choice, but it's just the one that came to my head. So that would be my go-to. I don't actually eat meal deals that often, Louis. I did actually, when we went back, I was one of them people that got apple slices as my side, because as I say, I'm trying to get it a little bit healthier. You know, I had apple slices as a side. Doesn't fill you up like a crisps does, but, you know, a bit nicer on the waistline. But let me, I didn't even know how they did all day breakfasts on go-to meal deals. As the ball will go behind for a throw-in, and we are actually 5 minutes into the half, which again, as I say, it's actually been going relatively quickly, if I'm being 100% honest. But not that it matters at this point. And I think that's been the worst part, is just they're not inspiring. The performance hasn't been as inspired as the one against France. And I do wonder if that's because of the hangover from the earlier game, as the ball is on the right-hand side, though, and if they could get an equaliser, that'd be brilliant. It will be another corner for Switzerland. Must be on like 5 now, or something like that, 5 or 6. Stupid question, is meal deal? No, a meal deal, like if you go to Tesco's, you get a sandwich, a drink, and a packet of crisps for £3. Arguably, I think it's £3.50 now, because, you know, Brexit. But no, you get a sandwich, a side, and a drink for £3, £3.50. Usually from Tesco's, they're the favoured meal deals. As Daz asked me about what do I think of the official Felix Birch. I thought it was Bryce. You know what? He's a referee. He's going to call it fairly. As much as we try and, you know, take the mick because he's German and they'll have an agenda against the other night. They're professionals. They're not going to risk their career. I'd be amazed if they did. Tubbs, what a corner by Shaqiri. I tell you what, if that goes in, we're all going mental. So I admire the effort. Was it accuracy? It lacked a little bit, but effort, brilliant. For me, it would be a chicken and bacon Caesar wrap. Great choice. Roast chicken crisps. I do like. That's a good. Sean's getting a quality order in here. Luke said Sport Orange or a full fat Coke. I can't. There's not one problem with that, Sean. That's a quality meal deal, mate. That is a quality meal deal. As the ball's being pinged around by Spain now, I do think, as Josh said, a second goal would really kill this game. It was ugly AF. Yes, I know it was, but it's Switzerland, and I'm not admitting to it. It's all right. Back off, back off, Tubbs. It was an effort. That's what it was. It was an effort. As Cal's put, makes sense now. You're welcome. I hope you can get a Neil deal. A Neil deal. That's a completely different sale. I hope you can get a meal deal near you soon. I saw it, but couldn't process it correctly with my brain. That's all right, mate. That's all right. As Alvaro Morata comes off for Gerard Moreno, who I am a little bit more fearful of than Alvaro Morata in terms of in front of goal. Earliest time Morata's been with Drew, really. I do wonder if that's because they're thinking about the next round and they want to get a few players rested earlier. because Morata has played a lot of football in this tournament. Daz, if we get through, do I think it's coming home? Oh, yeah, mate, it's been coming home since match day 1. Tomorrow doesn't change it. Unless we go out, then I guess it does. It does change it. But no, I think it's still coming home. Of course it does. Of course, I hope Switzerland get there with them. But, of course, it's coming home, my friend. As Switzerland move the ball a little bit quicker, and it's a good lunging tackle in the end, actually, by Aymeric Laporte, who ran the run, who tracked the run of Zuba well. And it's another corner for Switzerland. And I think they're going for a quick one. Corner taken quickly. Shaqiri whips it in near post. It's another corner for Switzerland. Anyone who had the over-under on corners at 15, you're close. Because we're only 55 minutes in and there's been a hell of a lot of corners in this game. And the ball this time, it won't be a short one. It'll be brought in by Rodriguez. It's deep. Back post header. Oh my God, that's close from Zakaria. It's almost redemption for the Gladbach man, and he heads it across goal, and that is agonisingly close to the back post. And Zakaria almost went from 0 to hero for Switzerland, and again from a set piece. They're clearly the more dangerous side. But it's so unfortunate from Zakaria. Time stood still as that trickled past the post, but it wasn't enough. It's an unbelievable effort from Denis Zakaria. That's a brilliant ball in and a brilliant header, just wide of the target from Zakaria. Oh, they have changed it to an own goal as well. Oh, that's terrible. I've only just seen. Well, no, I hadn't just seen. I've just ignored it. As so yeah, all goals spent. He scores one on goal. God no. I was going to take the mick, but then I remember me and Rowan talking. I kept mocking the fact that Hummels and Guerrero had scored on goals, and now Zakaria's got one. So at least helping a brother out. Much better second half though from Switzerland so far to start it anyway. But they don't want to get caught out by Spain counter-attack, which is they're building it up nicely here. They'll learn a throw-in from Vidma on the right hand side. You do worry when you wonder when Petkovic is going to turn to his bench. Had to turn to it early with Ruben Vargas, but that was an enforced change. And I think Nico Elvedi lunges in. And I've just heard from the commentary that if he gets booked, he'd miss the semi-final. How 2 yellows across the whole tournament and it's not even wiped out at this stage? That's insane. And Haris Seferovic has managed to foul Laporte as he brought it out from the back. As Tubb says, stupid question. No, not a stupid. Nothing's a stupid question from you, mate. Which would you rather win, the Euros or the World Cup? I think it's the World Cup. I think, being champions of the world rather than being champions of the continent. I think it's a nice thought. I'd say World Cup, mate, personally. As the ball's brought in, and that is a wonderful takedown from Ferran Torres, and he goes for the volley towards goal. But it's brilliant defensive work from Haris Seferovic, the striker. It's a good chest from Torres, and he goes to acrobatically swing a foot at it, and it's good defending from Haris Seferovic. And this time Spain will be the ones with the set piece. Koke is over by the corner flag. One more goal might kill it for Spain. As Koke drills it towards the edge of the box. It's definitely a routine by Spain. I'm not sure if it's worked yet, but drilled in. But yeah, it's definitely not a routine that's worked. But Tubbs, would you rather win the World Cup or the Euros? Surely it's the World Cup. Everyone loves the World Cup. But I've got to admit, I have enjoyed these European Championships a lot. They've been very entertaining. But we are at the hour mark now, and it's been a little bit better this second half. I think Switzerland definitely had a couple of moments of pressure. Spain, recently in the last couple of minutes, have got back into it, but they're back dominating possession as usual. I do wonder when Petkovic will turn to his bench. One shot on target in the game, and it's presuming they're talking about the Azpilicueta one, not the Jordi Alba one, which was ended up deflected in. As he says, yeah, World Cup is a different spectacle. I agree. I worry about the Qatar World Cup. I do. I worry that it's not going to have the same atmosphere as others because there's so much surrounding it. And I don't personally think it should be there to begin with. And that, I worry for the whole World Cup in general. But then again, people had their worries about Russia, and that was a fantastic tournament. It really was. So maybe my worries are misplaced, but it's not long now to the World Cup 2022, winter of 2022, which will makes no sense. World Cup in the winter just to shoehorn it into, I don't know. As Vidmer is adjudged to have fouled Danny Olmo as he skipped past him. He did. He shoved out a shoulder. And that does look lazy. A very tired challenge from Vidmer. So maybe it'll be soon to bring on Kevin and Babu to replace him in that position. But the caught-out position here is Jordi Alba gets forward, drilled into the near post, and it's a good clearance by Nico Elvedi. It's a little bit of a slow burner, this one, lads. I'll be honest with you. I'd like to give you a bit more passion, a bit more entertainment, and the most excitement I've had was my meal deal. It was my meal deal. As I would say the Brazil World Cup was a disaster. So much money was wasted building the stadiums from scratch. Yeah, I mean the thing is the tournaments are never bad. I've never disliked a World Cup. Because, out of all the games that get played, there's going to be special games in the tournaments. And there's going to be moments where teams surprise you and stuff. So I never dislike a World Cup. It's just all the other stuff surrounding a World Cup that can cause a lot of hassle, as you say, building the stadiums from scratch. Lost the ability to speak. Yeah, I think that's my main. There's a lot of problems with the Qatar World Cup. Lots of problems. As Michael Oliver's going to stop this corner from coming in. I think he's having a word with Jan Sommer, Akanji, and Pau Torres. And the ball is going to be in towards the near post, and it is cleared in the end by Akanji, the man who was having a little bit of tussle next to Jan Sommer, the goalkeeper. And that's a lovely passing field. It's good defending by Elvedi. He's done very well to read that. And now it'd be good for Switzerland to get away. They do have a few men over on the counter-attack as Zuber outstrengths Ferran Torres. And now this is a real opportunity. The ball's on the left this time. With Vargas, he tries to slot it through and he goes! And it's an amazing save by Unai Simon as Zuber prodded it towards goal. And that's the opportunity. Brilliant play between Zuber and Vargas. Vargas slots it through the legs. Oh, it's a good prod towards goal from Steven Zuber. But it's a good save from Unai Simon. It's a save he should make. He should probably make a bit more of a thorough contact with it, but it's unfortunate. They have hurt themselves a corner, though, when they've been relatively successful from corners, especially from the Zakaria chance earlier. Rodriguez will put it back in. This time it's won by a Spanish head, and they can try and get it clear. But if Switzerland can recycle, they have the men forward. But a real opportunity for Switzerland, and that's a good touch by Rodriguez. It's a kind of a wasteful ball forward, and he's offside in the end. And Sean asked if I've been surprised that there's only been 5 red cards. I don't know. Probably as many as maybe there's a few more than I would have expected. But with the way the refereeing has been, I think the refereeing has been brilliant. So I guess, I've not seen a challenge where I've thought, oh, that should have been a red, but VAR gave it as a yellow. Or I don't think I have anyway. But the ball is threaded through. Akanji gets there. Sommer came out. A bit of a miscommunication between the two. But it is all sorted in the end. As Zakari is dispossessed. But he does win it back. That's a good tackle from Zakaria. I keep calling him different things. I call him Zakaria, I call him Zakaria, I call him Zakaria. As Busquets goes to switch the play to the left-hand side. And you wonder how many chances Switzerland are going to get, as good as the Zuba one. As Spain come forward, they do retrieve the ball in the end. I was going to say, it's all getting a bit clustered in that left-hand corner as Moreno keeps the ball in play. Fair play to him, but they're keeping safe. I'm not calling him Dennis OG. I'm just going to call him Zakaria. I'll just call him Zach. That's probably the smarter thing. Not Dennis OG. It's just a convoluted name anyway. It's a crap name, that, Tubbs. As yellow card of the game goes to Vidma. And to be fair, after the challenge he made earlier, I'm not very surprised. We could just call him. Nah, I'm going to go with Zakaria. It's just easy. I know he's probably pronounced Zachariah, but I'm going to go Zakaria. Rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Even though Zach would be easier. As Aymeric Laporte drills the ball in to the Spanish attack, they have a man in the middle. It's a really teasing ball and a very confident bit of defending by Vidma, who chests it back to Jan Sommer. But again, Spain will regain possession. And I'll be honest, Switzerland look like they're chasing a lot of dead causes up front. Besides that earlier chance, they are in desperate need of a foot on the ball to stop this Spain team. And they're just hoping that Spain can get dispossessed, but they're really well at winning the ball back at the moment. But there is a ball over the top. It's a good ball as well. But it's good covering, but it's fell, and it's going to be squared. It's going to be in. It is. It's 1-1. Jordan Shaqiri. Switzerland are level. I said they're in desperate need of a goal, and that's the goal. Switzerland are back in the game. It's Big Shaq, and it all comes from. It looks like Laporte has it covered, and he ends up chesting it, and I think he chests it into Pau Torres. It's a terrible error. And then it falls to Seferovic, who squares it to Shaqiri, and he has the easiest of opportunities to put it into a pretty much empty net. It's a terrible bit of defending, bit of miscommunication, and Shaqiri is there in the box. It was in off the post. And Remo Freuler squares it to Shaqiri, and it's absolutely magical. I love to see it. Switzerland, maybe they're the team that just won't die in this tournament. It's 1-1. And Josh, I'm going to bring you in quickly just in case. I always bring you in and then I feel like there's going to be another goal. But if you do want to come in, Josh, it's 1-1.
It was needed. It was needed. This game was kind of just fizzling out a little bit, but that's been timed immaculately well. We've got 20 minutes of the game left now. Spain seem to be quite happy with the 1-0 lead, seem to be cruising towards a victory. And as you said, I think with Morata coming off, for example. I wonder if they've even thought themselves that they pretty much into the semis. But ultimately, it opens the doors now, and I wonder if Spain will be making a few more changes shortly because, as you said, in a game where it looked like Switzerland were dead and buried, they've just got their foot out of the grave and looking very, very lively now.
Yeah. This is it's definitely what it needed. I think they were in desperate need of getting a foot on the ball, and they've had a few chances, but nothing of major influence. And now they've put one in the back of the net, so hopefully that can continue. As it's 1-1, and hopefully for me it stays 1-1 for a while, so I can catch my breath.
I mean, Tubbs has said it's a former Bayern player that's had to bail you out.
No, I ignored it. There's a few comments. I do see them. I just don't deserve a response sometimes. But no, I don't care. Shaqiri's scored some absolute screamers in this tournament, and he's done real quality there. Oh my, great game. Come on,
I think it might be Gavranovic time soon. I think it'll get to that stage where he'll come on in the game because Seferovic has been very quiet in this one, and I'm wondering maybe if it's a similar change to what we had before, if he comes off and Gavranovic comes on, and maybe try to see if they can change the game up. Because, as we said, Spain are there for the taking. They've not really had many chances in the game at all. No. And if Switzerland can make the most of their chances, they might be in for another potential special night.
Yeah, hopefully so. This is the game plan. This is the thing with Spain. They sit on the 1-0 leads. They play a lot of nice football. But at the moment, it's 1-1. And thank you very much, Josh. Thank you very much. And hopefully, I'm not bringing him in. And if I am, it's for a Switzerland goal, not a Spanish one. But they're back in the game. It's 1-1. And I tell you what, you couldn't have really seen that coming. To be honest with you, it's just defensive frailties from Spain, who have looked comfortable tonight, but a little bit of miscommunication between Laporte and Pau Torres, and Remo Freuler does very well to pick out Shaqiri, who's in a better position, squares it to him, and it's in. But it is Spain who were on the ball there for a moment. As Spain look Burnley-like. They have more of the ball than Burnley, but this is now Zakaria, who plays it through to Zuba, who's been brilliant. But he's well covered, to be fair, by Azpilicueta. But Rodriguez wins the ball back, and this is much better. Drilled in, touched over, Zuba, headed into the midfield. Can't be picked up. But this is much better from Switzerland. You wonder where this team was for 65 minutes now. But Rodriguez looks dead on his feet as he tracks back now. But he did really well to win the ball high up the pitch, putting a bit of pressure on Spain, getting around them when they're on the ball rather than allowing them to pass in these areas. And there's the massive space in the middle for Laporte to run through. I think, the Spaniard ran offside, Gerard Moreno there. Oh, Ferran Torres, my apologies, had definitely ran offside. 1-1. An unbelievable turnaround. This game looked like it was just going to slowly meander to a finish. And now, hopefully, sprung back into life. As the ball goes back to Sommer, I think he will look long in the end, and he does. And Seferovic got in front of Pau Torres. Pau Torres dealt with it in the end, but the ball's over the top on the left-hand side. It's Olmo. He's running into a little bit of a corridor there, but they have won a corner, a throw-in, sorry. And now with 15 minutes to go, it seems a little bit more in the balance than it was previously. As whatever happens with Ricardo Rodriguez, I rated him when he was in Wolfsburg. He always had Robin in his pocket. He moved to Italy with Milan, and then I don't think it's really worked out there. I guess the emergence of Hernandez has really kind of pushed him down the pecking order, as obviously he spent a year at Torino, but that's a great ball in. And as Piliqueta played it across the box, it will actually stay in at the moment. I was going to say it kind of rolled across the box, just begging for it to be touched in, but there was no one there, no takers from the Piliqueta cross. As again, it's kind of, to be fair, it's kind of settled back into the Spain dominating possession sort of game. But when Switzerland have initiated the press against Spain, they've won the ball back high up the pitch, but that's a good ball in behind. It's good defending in the end from Widmer, from Dani Olmo, but Spain now seem to be clicking again in this one. Olmo, Widmer gets caught wrong side. He looks tired, but he's done really well to get and block that cross. And it'll be a corner for Spain. There's just a problem with this corner. Maybe I was going to say there's some things that are being thrown onto the pitch. The ball's whipped out wide by Spain. They try and get a little bit of a better angle. It is whipped in. It is headed on, and it'll be into the hands of Jan Sommer. And Torres was there to prod it in, but it didn't get enough contact on it. It's a delicious ball, but it's good defending at the back post, as Pau Torres couldn't quite get the firmest connection on it. And Freuler's off. And that's completely changed this one. I'm sure VAR will look at it. And this completely changes the game for Switzerland now. I mean, Josh. I mean, if Josh is here, the red card stands. I'm not convinced, but maybe I'm biased.
I'll say is I don't look at that foul and scream, send him off for that.
No,
I don't think that's a red card. And I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Chris Kavanagh is the one in the VAR making the decision.
What a surprise that one of the only bad decisions at this has come from the Premier League. And the Premier League have really ruined a game that I think now will just be... It's really a shame that it's been...
It'll be a hold for penalties, won't it, now for Switzerland?
Yeah, that's not a red. It's never a red at all. Obviously, Peter Walton agrees because that's what Peter Walton does. But it's not a red for me. I would say, maybe don't look at my opinion as much because I'm clearly biased. But
no, I wouldn't have said that was a penalty. As I said, I think there's some tackles sometimes where you look at them and you go, that's a sending off, that's a red card. But for VAR to check that, for VAR to even give that as a red card, I'm very, very surprised that's not being overturned. And Max giving us a yellow card. I can agree with a yellow card. Yes, it's a little bit late. Yes, he maybe doesn't get as much of the ball as he expects to. But for me, I wouldn't give that as a red. I mean, Kyle he disagrees and he says that's a red for me. Can't leave with 2 feet off the ground. It wasn't Studson first, but still a red in my opinion. I don't think
you have 2 feet.
Probably one of the more harsher red cards to give out for a tackle like that, I would have said.
I don't think he had 2 feet off the ground. I think one of them was down. I mean, how do you want him to make challenges? I just don't understand it. I don't really.
I'd like to see the tackle more, to get an idea of it. But from first glance, I don't think that was a red card. I think that was the yellow tops.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no. This a game that was really hotting up. I feel like it's gonna have a shameful of an ending, really, because you don't want it to be ruined by refs that are really bad and clearly because they're from the Premier League. What a surprise, they're bad. But here we go. Well, hopefully it's a long 40 minutes and we go to pens, but I doubt it now with that decision being made.
We'll have to see what they do. That's the interesting thing. How do they play out the last 10 minutes or so? Because obviously Spain now, they'll know that they can go for it. And we'll have to see whether or not that they do. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think they'll have confidence from this now. And they'll continue. But let's see if Switzerland's 10 men can hold on. That is an awful decision, in my opinion. As I say, ever so slightly biased, which is understandable. But I don't really think that's a red on any other day. But Tubbs did call a red. You did, mate. You did indeed. And it will be a shame to see the tournament end like this for Switzerland because of a bad refereeing decision. But Shaqiri is off. Jibril Sow is coming on. More of a... Definitely not as attacking as Shaqiri, sorry. And I think is there 2 changes here for Switzerland? So Jibril Sow is on for Xherdan Shaqiri. And as Tubbs puts, it's Gavra time, it's Gavranovic time. I'd like to have seen these changes now if it was 11v11, but Gavranovic is on for Seferovic. Not had his greatest day, Haris Seferovic.
Can I just say as well, I have just jumped in very quickly, that Mark Clattenburg has come out, I think, on American TV and just said that he didn't think it was a red, but because it's not an obvious error, that VAR cannot fully overturn that decision for that to be given as a yellow, which surprises me because I think in situations like that, that has to be an example of a decision that can be overturned because, as I said, I'm going to try and see if I can find the video of the tackle again, but I really don't think that is a yellow card. And obviously, if one of the biggest referees in the last generation is saying he doesn't think it's a red card, it's decisions like that can change a game. And we could be sat here in 10 minutes' time saying, Spain have won this game 2-1, but that will be the moment we'll look back at and we'll say that could change everything in the match.
Yeah, I completely agree. And in this instance, maybe I still do, VAR can only do what it's allowed to do if it's, as he says, not allowed to change the decision. It's just the fact that the on-field decision was poor as well. And, we've seen enough Michael Oliver crap decisions to know how bad English refs are. And unfortunately, we've got another one.
And I think more than anything as well, I know obviously in the letter of the law, it has to be a clear and obvious error. But isn't it a clear and obvious error from the referee with the decision that's made?
Yeah.
Where the lines need to be drawn on decisions made and what can and can't be overturned. But I guess now we said it, we expected Switzerland. They made the substitutions, maybe not as attacking as they would like to have gone. But it probably is going to be a case of seeing if they can hold on for the last 10 or so minutes of the 90. If they can take them to extra time. Might be staying up for penalties again, Mr. Lawler.
I think at this point, that's what they'll have to aim for because of the decision that was made. But 7 minutes to go, I think it's going to be all Spain, if we're being 100% honest. I think they'll definitely be able to get a few more chances going now with the 10 men. So hopefully...
Gavranovic is on. He might have the one chance. And if, Spain's defence can open up like they did against France, like France did a few nights ago, then maybe I think Switzerland will have one opportunity in this game. But again... It's whether they take it or not, or whether Spain can grind themselves out and get themselves into the semi-final. Yeah,
I feel a little bit bad for Gavranovic because he can't really do much now because the attacking players that they'll want to bring on or they could have brought on or kept on are going to have to be replaced because of the situation that they find themselves in. But we'll have to see.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
I'll see you in hopefully 6 minutes when either we're celebrating the fact that we're going to extra time. I've seen a miracle and Switzerland are back in front, or the more than likely ending of Spain winning the game. But nothing's impossible in football. There is 6 minutes to go. As that ball has gone long, Gavranovic couldn't take it under his spell, and it'll be rolled out by Unai Simon. And please don't tell me that. As Ricardo Rodriguez ends up lashing it upfield. And I don't know, I just heard that the commentator talking about a hamstring injury for Gavranovic, and I swear that better not be real, because if it is, then Switzerland have had the most unlucky night with all the injuries and the own goal and the terrible red card decision. As the ball is switched to the left-hand side to Dani Olmo. Five minutes to go now. And Spain are probably going to have waves of attack. It's going to have to be a defensively structured performance now from Switzerland, but we'll have to see as Laporte attempts to fire from range. And it's blocked by Nico Elvedi. As Jan Sommer aims to get it clear. I do think it's going to be a lot of this now. Switzerland just giving possession away because they haven't got the players at the top end of the pitch to keep possession. But maybe they could nick it on a counter. Gavranovic is offside, for sake. That's the biggest problem with it. He just doesn't time his runs well enough. But it is back in Spain's hands now. And the ball's on the right-hand side. It's going to be played infield. Miscontrol by Busquets, which is not what you'd have said, as Gavranovic tries to take on 1 and 2. Screw it, why not 3 and 4? And he ends up getting dispossessed in the end. But there is an attack from Switzerland, which will be good for their confidence. It's Jibril Sow. There's an overlap. And it's cleared in the end by Spain. They pushed men forward, did Switzerland, but fortunately for them, they're going to have to stop it. But it does look like it's unfortunate for an injury. That does not look good. I was going to say, I think it's a head injury. I think he's fell back into Gavranovic as they're both trying to clear the ball. There'll be a fair few minutes of added time, I presume. As we're still just waiting, I think there will be a substitute. Marcus Llorente looks like he's getting prepped. The man who started at right back in the opening game for Cesar Azpilicueta can play in midfield. Honestly, Mr. Versatile, really. You can play him where you want to play him. As Tubbs is saying, I have to say, Spain have been horrible. Yeah, they haven't been great. They might have been saved by a really poor decision. But they won't care if they're in a semi-final. But if they are to go to extra time, which I think is highly doubtful, it'll be another extra 30 minutes on the legs before going into the semi-final. You think Belgium and Italy, they'll be much the fresher. Especially Belgium if they can get the job done in 90 minutes later. Llorente still not on the pitch yet, but Busquets switches it wide. And it is a ball into the box. It's a good header clear by Elvedi. And I think in the case of Switzerland, they'll just want to clear their lines. And Vargas does very well to Zakaria. Rodriguez. And again, Gavranovic is miles offside. He is getting himself back on now. He's gone for the switch. And it's just behind Gavranovic. They just need to pass it sooner to Gavranovic because he's making the runs in behind, but he trails offside. But if they get him to him early enough, he can time one of them runs right. They will maybe have one opportunity as with 30 seconds to go. There's 4 minutes of added time that will be added. We're just ticking down to them now with 18 seconds to go before we hit the 90. It'll be heartbreak for Switzerland, but Spain look the likeliest. It's drilled in, and it's a good save by Sommer. It's straight into his arms, and I think he'll just try and run down as much clock as possible. And it's just a long ball forward again. They're going to have to try and win something up there, maybe a throw-in, or even better, it'd be a corner. I think that's their only hopes at the moment, as they're being dragged out of shape. A lot of tired legs out there. As the ball's out to the left, it's Olmo. Vidma does very well. And he's tried to go the ball down the line to Jibril Sow, and it's just veered out of play. 3 minutes to go. There will be the substitute that they were going to make. It'll be Koke off for Marcus Llorente, so it does look like Marcus Llorente will take his usual position of midfield rather than fullback where he's operated previously. And I'm presuming, I think it was Fashnak, yeah, for Steven Zuber will be the change. Zuber again, I think he's had a brilliant day, a brilliant tournament, but Fashnak of Young Boys is on. So it is a like-for-like change on the wing. Fashnak can operate on either wing, so he's going to be operating on the left as Vargas takes up the position on the right, as he did from Embolo early in the game. But it is just everyone camped back for Switzerland now. It's whipped in. Sommer, good communication, and he claims the ball, and he'll waste every damn second. 2 minutes to go of this game. Terrible distribution from Sommer. Worst possible thing for happen, but Akanji has got his Swiss compatriot out of jail there. And Gavranovic has been fouled. And this was where I said the best opportunities would come from Switzerland's point of view. Set pieces. But 1.5 minutes to go. They do have a free kick. It's around at the halfway line as Laporte just climbs atop of Gavranovic. And with a minute to go, Rodriguez will chip the ball forward. They've won the first header. It will be cleared, though, by Spain. Zakaria will loft one more back on. It'll be a bit of head tennis. Ball's still in the air between the thing. Spain will try and bring it down. And they will. And I think Zakaria has done that on purpose and he's going to take the foul. But they've taken the free kick quickly of Spain, sorry. And 40 seconds to go. This might be the last chance for Spain to win it in 90 minutes. Llorente up against Akanji. He's twisting inside and out. Akanji does very well. It's a throw-in with 20 seconds to go. And this really would be heartbreaking. But Spain, play it on one more. It's switched out to the left-hand side. There'll be a ball into the box. It's cleared. And it'll be a free kick for Switzerland. And with 8 seconds to go, are we destined for another round of extra time? We are. Josh, please come in because I need that. And I'm just going to nip to the loo, my friend. Please come in. I'm just going to nip to the loo.
You get yourself a quick toilet break because we've
Oh
got
my.
another half an hour. And I've got to say, if you are one of Switzerland or Spain, you're probably looking right now thinking, we've already played half an hour of action in our previous match. We've got another half an hour to come in a game which, if we're being honest with you, I think both teams, probably Spain a little bit more in this game, have been very, very disappointing. Obviously, Switzerland going down to 10 men. We said about it before. An interesting red card to give. I feel it's still a little bit of an interesting decision from the referee to give it as a red card in the end. But what it does mean now is that if you're Belgium or Italy and you're looking at that side of the draw with the semi-final, obviously on Tuesday at Wembley, I think you're looking and thinking to yourself, there is a real good opportunity that if they don't go that extra time tonight, that they could be the favourites to make the final, because these two teams are going to be absolutely knackered as it is already. But it should make for a very interesting extra time period, because Switzerland making most of their changes already. Spain already making, I think, 3 changes in the match. They're going to have 3 changes left, Spain, so they could arguably bring on a few other players in this game and change the matchup. As for Switzerland, they've got 2 changes they can make, because obviously you get the 6th additional change that you can make in extra time. So it's all in Spain hands in terms of the substitutions. They've got more players they can bring on, but I don't think we're going to see extra time like we did against Croatia, where Spain get 2 goals and kill the game off. I do think it is probably going to be a match with very tired legs, a lot of cramp, maybe a few injuries. Let's just hope it's not to the same extent what we saw with Ukraine and Sweden a few nights ago, because, of course, we had a lot of injuries in that game. But if you're Belgium and Italy, you're going to be licking your lips thinking even more tiredness for Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think if you're Spain, sorry, what was I saying? I've gone delirious here. What was I thinking then? I've literally just lost the train of thought I was going to say. Not even 2 minutes ago. Because for anyone who hasn't realised yet, I haven't had a knockout game not go to extra time.
No, so you are blessed with extra time all the time.
Sorry, I'm back on the track now. If you're Spain or if you're Switzerland, I think 1 goal for Spain, it's over. I think if you're Switzerland, you're playing to not concede at this point. With the 10 men, if you can nick a goal on the counter, you're in dreamland. But if Spain get 1, I think it's over. And I hate to admit it, but I think it might be done at that point.
We'll have to see. I think they'll make changes. I think they'll bring on 2 players when we do get back underway. Wouldn't be surprised if Yazabal was one of the players that came on, just to bring a bit more creativity into the match. But we saw it before in that game against Croatia. Tired legs started to kick in, and that's when quality started to kind of be the main forefront of the match. But both of these teams have already had experience of extra time. No doubt both managers have had plenty of experience already in this tournament, having to do quite a few dramatic team talks. And again, for Switzerland to take Spain to extra time is a massive credit to them, because obviously, let's not forget, they're down to 10 men. They are a man short, and they have played like they've got 11 men on the pitch. And that is a credit to them. And I think with Spain, again, if they were to go and get knocked out of this competition, it would be incredibly, incredibly disappointing for them. But all I keep thinking back to was Portugal. They had a very similar situation in 2016. They never actually won a game in normal time and went on to win the tournament. I wonder if we're going to see something similar here with one of these 2 sides going on a long run. But no changes, which is quite surprising. I thought we'd have seen 1 or 2 players come on for either side, but they're going to stick with what they've got. And we'll have to see whether or not that's going to be enough for now, because half an hour is a long time. And no doubt in the back of your mind, they are going to be thinking about who's going to be taking penalties soon. And you'd hope we do get to that stage if you're a neutral.
Or a not so neutral. No, I think that's the best chance for Switzerland. The best route to winning the game is through penalties at the moment, because I just don't see them nicking a goal on the counter. I'd love to be wrong, but we'll have to see, as my game is just about to Just about to kick off. Well, Josh, I've been here for somehow I've been here for a combined now 330 minutes. Let's make it 360. Why not?
Let's hope that it is the best 360 minutes of your life if Switzerland do go through. But we'll have to see, because who knows? Who knows? It's anybody's game right now. And as we said, again, big credit to Switzerland, because obviously, even now if they do get knocked out today, this is the best run they've ever been on, I would probably say, in their history. And you've got to enjoy the moment, because it's not often that a team like Switzerland get an experience like this.
No, the only thing that I hold a little bit of a thingy for is like I think they had a chance in this game. I think they were on the up a little bit, and the decision kind of killed the momentum that they had at that point in the game. But hopefully in extra time they can regroup and go again as they did against France.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll have to see whether or not half an hour is a long time in football, but it could also be the best 30 minutes of their lives if they go through. But we'll find out. We'll find out.
Thank you very much, Josh. Don't want to see him again, if I'm being politely, apart from at half time, because I do feel one goal kills this game. And of course, the likelihood is that goal comes from Spain, and they were in again there. And it's some last-ditch defending all the time, and they're just trying to get the ball upfield. And every time it's cut off near the halfway line, and it's coming back their way through Spain. And it is truly now, it'll be 9 men behind the ball for Switzerland. As the ball is attempted to be cleared by Rodriguez, but it doesn't get very far. And it's going to be a long 30 minutes. I don't think they could hold up like that, but it was lashed across the front of goal, and Gerard Moreno should have done better. It's a brilliant ball in by Jordi Alba. And he hits it with his left foot, and it goes just past the near post. He hits it with his shin, I think, in the end. But Gerard Moreno, that was a massive opportunity for him to pretty much win the game in extra time with only 2 minutes played. A massive chance for Gerard Moreno, a chance that he's finished for Villarreal all season long. Hasn't quite had the Euros he would have wanted after missing the penalty. But that was a massive opportunity for Moreno. And Spain are back in safe possession again. The extra man really proving dividends at the moment. As the ball's now on the right-hand side with Spain, it's been cut back in field. Some good dribbling by Dani Olmo. It's found its way to Moreno. It's really scrappy. They just want to clear the lines to Switzerland. They're trying to play out, but it's not working by any means. But they have managed to dispossess Spain, but there's just nobody up there. It's one long ball, and it'll be recovered by Spain. There are 2 changes being prepped by Petkovic. But they won't come on, so the ball is out of play, which at the moment with this Swiss side does not look likely. Spain side, sorry, does not look likely anytime soon, as they're probing on the edge of the box. They try to play a through ball in, and they don't manage it. So lovely play by Switzerland by Vidmer. It's Jibril Sow. He plays it in field. Gavranovic wins it. It's the best opportunity Switzerland have had. And they go for a switch of play. It's going to be overhit for Vargas, and it's the best opportunity they've had so far. Was unfortunately wasted like the rest of them. As it floats over the head of Ruben Vargas. And I don't think they've made the 2 changes just yet. They might be waiting a little bit longer. And Elvedi's going to have a chance to get the ball clear as Spain try to probe forward again. Spain are going to keep to their morals. They're going to keep passing it around. Pau Torres almost dispossessed there. And the Swiss did win it. Zakari has been dispossessed. He tried to do too much in the middle. The ball's on the right. Good block, though, but it's going to come back to a Spaniard. Hit towards goal. Good save by Jan Sommer. He palms it over the top of the crossbar from Jordi Alba. It's a good save. It'll be interesting to see if they do wait for these changes till after the set piece, which is what looks likely at this moment. The ball is whipped in. It's deep towards the back post. It's headed into the hands of Jan Sommer. And Jan Sommer will calm it down as Llorente's header at the back post floats gratefully into his arms. As I just looking back at the Jordi Alba chance, which was straight at Jan Sommer, to be fair. And I'm just looking now, and literally they've come back from the replay, and Spain are back in possession again. They've found some space on the right-hand side. It's good defending by Rodriguez, and this time they're in a corridor and they've cleared it straight to Spain. It's going to be a lot of this, and it's not going to, I don't think it'll go well for him. Edge of the box with Olmo. Deflected off his own man and behind for a goal kick. It could have gone anywhere, that. As Olmo hits it at Gerard Moreno and it floats past the post. But that one is a nervy deflection when all Sommer could do was stand and watch. Pretty much halfway through, 6.5 minutes into added time. They've got to try and get some possession, Switzerland, because it is a constant barrage of attacks from Spain. Akanji's got to get across. He does really well, does Manuel Akanji, to get across there. His clearance, though, is blocked, and there's a man through, and it's going to have to be a challenge by Widmer, and he has to be careful because he's on a yellow, and that could have been a second yellow. That one was more of a bloody red than the first one, but Widmer makes a challenge. Got to be careful now. And I don't think they brought on the two subs still. As Busquets is over the free kick that was just given by Widmer, it's left in the end. It's a routine from Spain towards the back post. In at the near post, flicked with a back heel by Pau Torres, but into the hands of Jan Sommer again. It's a nice little free kick move, but nothing comes of it as Jordi Alba's cross was flicked towards goal by Pau Torres. And by the way, they're still waiting for the two subs. I can see them at the bottom of the screen, but they don't look to be being introduced just yet. As Spain come forward past the halfway line now. It's a good passing field between the midfielders and defence. All in front of Switzerland at the moment, but Spain won't mind because they're going to try and break them down with the ball on the right. It's a little bit overhit, but they'll recover. It's a lovely ball played in. Lovely reverse pass. Amazing block by Manuel Akanji. And everything was right about the move from Spain. But Manuel Akanji gets in front of it. It's a really good block by him. And this is the longest 15 minutes of probably the Swiss lives. And might as well ball in. And he could have gone anywhere again. It's flashed past everyone. And I'm pretty sure the header from Moreno might take it off the foot of Laporte as he tries to climb in. And Sommer will take the goal kick. And I feel like we're finally going to see these changes, and we are. Denis Zakaria, unfortunately, not his best game, I'll be honest. He's going to come off. Fabian Schär will come on, and Widmer is being replaced by Kevin Mbabu, which is a smart decision considering Vidma could easily have been given a second yellow for his challenge earlier on. But Zakaria off Sharon. It's another centre-back, but a man who did take a penalty earlier in the game. So it does look like a 5-4 Switzerland at the moment to try and even shore up that defence even more than they already have done. The ball's in the air. It's a bit of head tennis around the centre circle. But it will be a free kick for Switzerland, which... Oh, no, it's going to give it to Spain. Okay, it's a free kick to Spain. Not really sure why. They've gone quickly. And it's a good touch. It's flicked towards... Great save, Sommer! It's a brilliant save, Moreno. Can't believe it's not gone in. It was a quick free kick over the top. Wasn't fully controlled. It was an attempt clearance by Ricardo Rodriguez. It flicks into the path of Gerard Moreno, who fires towards goal. And it's a good save by Jan Sommer. But Yazabal's over the corner. It goes towards the back post, and the header's over the crossbar. It's going to be another corner. Pau Torres got up, but it was cleared by, I think, Manuel Akanji in the end. It's another corner on the opposite side by Dani Olmo. It's going to be a quick, short one to get a better angle of it. And it's going to be another corner for Spain. Earlier in the game, it was all Switzerland from the corners. And now it's all Spain. Dani Olmo. Free kick to Switzerland. As we creep down. Didn't seem to be too much in that on Kevin Mbabu. He goes down with some amateur dramatics there. As it's a good header up by Fashnacht. How in the world is that a foul by Gavranovic? Anyway, Michael Oliver's made his decision. I really don't see anything in that at all. But they have got they have reclaimed possession of the ball. And it's kind of back to what we'd expect. It's a Spanish attack. Swiss trying to put up the barracks, but it fell to the left-hand side. Curled Sommer saves again. He's going to be called upon a lot in this extra time period as Yazabal went for the far corner. But it was a good save by Jan Sommer. It's a save he should make. But he flicks it far away and behind for a corner. Dani Olmo is over it. It's into Sommer. Sommer punches. It's got to be a foul on him, and it is. He's now down. Hopefully he's all right, because he has been a hero at the back in this first period of extra time. As yeah, Moreno definitely backs into Jan Sommer there. It's going to need some real heroics from defenders and goalkeepers alike for Switzerland. Every man, all hands to the pump with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go of arguably what's felt like the longest first half of extra time, much longer than the France one. It's booted upfield. It's met by a Spain head, and it's an attempt at a switch, and Babu goes to reach it. He takes a terrible touch, and unfortunately it's going to be a throw into Spain. And they'll regroup and come again, as they have done all game long since the red card. They've reset with the centre-backs, and then they'll restart the move and go again. But there will be pockets for this Spanish team. They've had a lot of chances in this first period of extra time. Haven't taken one as of yet, but You feel if they give away any more chances as they have, they'll put one of them in the back of the net. It's Danny Olmo trying to bend it. It's going to be cleared by Switzerland, but it'll come back again. And it's back out by Switzerland, and it'll come back in again. And there's going to be a minute of added time in this first half of extra time, but Spain moving the ball side to side. It's on the right. Cleared into the middle of the park where there is lots of space when they're moving it side to side. Switzerland shifting. It's going to be drilled in. It's going to be cleared by Elvedi. 30 seconds left on the clock now. And it's back with Spain again. Lots of space on the right-hand side. Yazabal into the hands of Jan Sommer. And it was a Yazabal again. He tried to bend it into that far corner, but Jan Sommer makes the save. Took 2 bites of the cherry to get it in his grasp, but he has done. And it's first half of extra time over. Come back in, Josh.
Can they hold on? That's the question. We said it before. It's more of a case for Switzerland of just holding on in this game, and they're doing very well. And when I mean very well, I mean Jan Sommer is doing very well because everything is, of course, being directed right at him, and he's made some top class saves. And I mean, funnily enough, I think it was this point in the tournament where Belgium faced USA. And we all remember when Tim Howard put in the performance of his life when he made, I think it was like 12, 13 saves in the game. I wouldn't say it's as heroic as that one yet, because there's still 15 minutes left of the game. But the work that Jan Sommer's put in this game to keep his side into it, if they do make it till the very end and we do go to a penalty shootout, if there's one man that's going to be feeling confident, it's Mr. Jan Sommer, because obviously he's having a brilliant, stellar game here, keeping his side in it. And then more than anything, he already has that experience of the penalty shootout, while Unai Simon doesn't. But look, it's, as you said, it's going to be a very long 15 minutes now, because they are not having any chances in this game at all. Not any chances. They're happy to sit back, put 10 men behind, 9 men behind the ball, and just wait out to get to a penalty shootout. But as Tubbs says, hold on to your Toblerones, you Swiss. I don't want to jinx Jan, so shut up. But he's doing really, really well right now. It's just, can they hold on? I don't know.
No, I was going to say it's going to need a kind of everything to go their way. Spain being wasteful with a few chances, which we've seen. Sommer putting in a great performance, some heroic blocks from Akanji, and Elvedi clearing their lines as well.
I'm going to say, in good fortune, the last time Spain were in St. Petersburg, they had a certain penalty shootout, which they failed to obviously win. And maybe history repeats itself.
We're not like that stage yet, but I do know what you're saying. And by the way, I do remember the game you're talking about, round of 16, Belgium-USA, because that is still arguably one of my favourite games of all time. It was 0-0, 2-0 to Belgium, but then Julian Green gave America hope. Great game. I really enjoyed that one. That was still maybe one of my favourites of all time. It's up there. Really enjoyed that game.
It definitely was. And of course, all the pictures that came out of it from that game. But I just think here that Switzerland, as we said, are going to sit back. Spain looked dangerous, but apart from the chance I think Gerard Moreno had, where he should have probably put it in the back of the net, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
They need somebody to be a hero here, and fast.
Yeah, I agree. And as you say, we're not at that stage yet of getting excited or anything, but with 14 and a half minutes, I feel like it's going to be a long 15 minutes, this one, Josh. So thank you very much, my friend.
Hold on to your hat. It's going to be a long one, as you said.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm holding on to my seat because I'm on the edge of it right now. But we'll have to see. Hopefully, 15 more minutes of 100% effort from both sides. I'm confident of that. But let's see how this one goes. as Spain kind of, as I say, pick up where they left off. I think this is just the rule of the game at the moment. It's headed away by Rodriguez, headed back into the middle. It's done well to be cleared by Akanji. He finally gets the ball at his feet and he earns his side a free kick. And I tell you what, this is what, for me, if you're Switzerland, try and slow the game down at every opportunity. Try and get niggly fouls by holding on to the ball in the right areas. You don't want to be messing around near your own box, but earning free kicks, earning throw-ins, and that's how you're going to slow the game down. And of course, obviously taking an age to take goal kicks and free kicks, because that is also welcomed at this stage. But see if Jan Sommer can kind of push Switzerland up the field a little bit, as they do win the first header. Not so fortunate with the second. Jordi Alba goes down very simply there from the foul from Fashnak. But now, this is the problem. If Switzerland do push a few men forward, they have to all regroup and get back into position extremely quickly. As I don't know what I'm having for tea, Sean. I'm not sure. I thought I'd maybe have time between the two games to think about it, but I wasn't expecting extra time. As Switzerland have got a chance here. And now, I'll tell you what, there's an opportunity if he can release Kevin Mbabu. He's got a little bit of pace, Mbabu, if he wants to go out on the outside of Pau Torres, and he does, and that's surely a foul. That is despicable refereeing. Mbabu's been tripped. This is awful from Michael Oliver. He's been tripped, Kevin Mbabu, there. It's been ignored by the ref. But they'll go back into their shape. It looked like a moment of escape for Switzerland. It's drilled into the middle, into the feet of Moreno. Pedri's got it. And it'll be cleared by Vargas. But it comes again. Ball switched to the left-hand side to Dani Olmo this time. He tries to go through the middle of Mbabu and Vargas, but they do well to sniff the danger. Mbabu goes for the clearance. And Pedri is doing very well, but Mbabu does well with a bit of strength to get back. And he'll get another chance to clear it now. And he tries again, but they're not getting out of this corner. Switzerland, and Spain earn the throw-in. Deep in the left-hand corner off Jibril Sow. As they give it back to their defenders, who are occupying themselves deep in the Switzerland half at this point. Way past the halfway line are all them at the moment. As the ball switched to the left-hand side. 10 minutes to go. I'm watching the clock. Can we just send Oliver home? Please send Michael Oliver home. He has had a mare. You're right. He's had a bad day. That's most days in the Premier League, to be fair. As the ball's on the left-hand side. Again, overlapping run. Drilled back in. Great tackle! It's cleared again. It's a brilliant block from Ricardo Rodriguez. Unbelievable from Ricardo Rodriguez. As I'm sorry, that's not a foul. There's no way. Unbelievable from Ricardo Rodriguez. All is forgiven, by the way. All is forgiven for the missed penalty a couple of nights ago. An unbelievable block from Ricardo Rodriguez. A man who's operating at left back and has started pretty much every game of this tournament. I think he has started every game. As the ball is going to be played out from the back by Spain again. They're going to need heroics like that. But how many more do they have in the locker? That's the question. How much more can these Switzerland players give before Spain eventually put one in the back of the net? Because there's still 9 minutes to play. And it will have felt like another 90. Ball on the left. Get back. Drilled into the hands of Jan Sommer. And he's caught it. He does very well drilled into the floor. And Jan Sommer gets his chest behind it and does very well. As the ball is back up front. And it's back with the Spain centre halves. And it's coming again. And it's... I can't believe it felt like a minute ago I was saying 9 minutes. Now it's only 8.5. How much more can they give? It's on the left again. They seem to be getting a few more openings now as the Swiss players do tire. They're trying to get out and put themselves in front of crosses and nullify attacks, but they're so tired because of what they put into the game. It's drilled back in. It's at the feet. It's hit. And I think it's going to be a corner, or is it going to be a goal kick? I'm just having a look. The ball was drilled back to Dani Olmo. And I think he just mistimes it. And Dani Olmo stinking up the place. I'm not saying anything, mate, anymore. As Thiago comes on for Pau Torres, they're taking a defender off for a midfielder. And Jan Sommer stands over the goal kick. And it's not a good touch. And there's a bit of cramp for Vargas, it looks like anyway. He's hobbling his way back. Everyone's put everything into this game. And Babu's got to go out and try to stop the cross. It's headed clear by Elvedi. It's going to come back though. And it's going to go out of play. And a time to take a breath. A time for calm. As Thiago comes on. And as I say, they'll take every time and every second they can over these set pieces now. Jan Sommer able to get the goal kick again. I'm presuming, believe it or not, I'm presuming it's going to come straight back. But it is up. Gavranovic gets a touchdown. It is actually met. And that's going to be a foul. And this is the best. What? Oh, you're taking the mick. Oh. You are unbelievable. It's throwing to Spain in the end. I don't understand how that's not a foul. As the ball's on the left-hand side, Laporte's bringing it out from the back, probably, as we see, the only orthodox centre-back on the pitch. As it switched out to the left-hand side again. There's so much space for a few of these Spain players. And I just feel they're going to create a real opportunity in these last couple of moments that could be the difference against the tired legs of Switzerland. Even with the changes, they're chasing the ball so much. It's onto the right-hand side. It's drilled back to the edge. It's chipped to the back post. This time Thiago rolls it one more to Marcus Llorente. It's rolled back to Thiago when they're trying to keep everything in front of them. It's going to be rolled over to the left-hand side. Drilled in towards the back post. Llorente arrives. Back across. Falls to Moreno. Can't get it out of his feet. It's going to be hit back in. It's another good block. It's another corner for Spain. Fabian Schär this time on the block. With 5 minutes. Why is this so long? Oh, Dani Olmo on the corner. It's in the near post and into the hands of Jan Sommer. And breathe. And breathe again. Swiss hanging on for dear lives. Come on, the Swiss. They are indeed. And it's a good catch again from the captain. The man with the captain's armband right now. And the ball is played up again by Sommer. This time it's Gibril Sau. He's in a foot race with Pedri. He's going to earn a throw in high up the field, and that is probably where they prefer to be after spending an age in their own half. They have the ball deep in Spain's territory this time. And it's Sal plays it off, a Spanish player again. And they still have the ball in Spain's territory. They're going to try and keep it round here, keep the ball in the corner. Probably trying not to overcomplicate things. They are going for a ball into the box. It's headed clear. But they will win the ball back. But it's dispossessed immediately, and they're going to... Pedri gets away. And Babu gets the vital touch that takes it back for a throw-in. 3 minutes plus stoppage time, where I presume 1 or 2. Can't imagine too much by the way of stoppage time, but still plenty of chances I feel left in this game with the amount of pressure that Spain have put on late in this one. It's flicked through the middle. It's going to be cleared. Oh, it's terrible clearance. And now they're caught out. And it's a vital error into the hands of Jan Sommer again. Gerard, oh God, my phone's gone. Everything's gone. Oh my God, Gerard Moreno has to connect better than that. It was terrible. I've got to admit, from Nico Elvedi, looks dead on his feet. But Jan Sommer gets across and palms it. It's going to be chested down by the Swiss in the middle. But now here come the Spaniards, and there's a few men just a little bit out of position at this point. And they all need to get back now. Spain moving the ball a little bit quicker. It's Thiago. Dinks it into the box, headed clear by Elvedi. Thiago tries to head it back into play, and it'll be lofted clear by Switzerland, and they'll earn a throw-in with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in this game. It's unbelievable. There's been lots of pauses by me here just to kind of keep it going. Rodri is on for Pedri. The young man who's had a great tournament. The young man who's got an unbelievably bright future is replaced by Rodri. And it's going to be a throw-in or a free kick. I can't tell which yet from Michael Oliver. I think it might be a free kick, actually, by Switzerland with 50 seconds to go. It's going to be a throw-in. My apologies. I couldn't tell from the angle. It's going to be headed clear. Lofted up by Spain. Akanji. He's going to play it back to Jan Sommer. No mistakes now, Jan. Lofted high. And now Spain come with 20 seconds to go. They're switching it from right to left. Alba has put some brilliant crosses in today. Can he provide one more? It's back over to the right. This time Thiago, who came on as a substitute in extra time. It's out to the left. Alba blocked by Mbabu, lashed upfield by Switzerland. Unai Simon's there. 1 minute of additional time, 40 seconds, if you include the 20 seconds we've already played. It's deflected. Gavranovic, just get the ball clear. Oh, just do it, man. And it's 30 seconds left, and they'll have a set piece. Gavranovic will miss the semi-final now. If they were to get there, there's still a couple minutes to be played. Whipped in, over everyone, back post, retrieved, nodded, Over the crossbar. Surely that's it. Surely we're going to pens. Surely we are going to pens. Oh, I'm moving everything. It's a penalty shootout. And Switzerland are going to penalties again. This time with the Spaniards. Jan Sommer will be in net again, the man who was the hero against Kylian Mbappe. But in this Switzerland team, I've seen more heroes than the Avengers tonight with the amount of blocks they've been making. Absolutely valiant effort from them, and they will be rewarded with a penalty shootout. Josh, I'm shaking like a leaf, lad.
I think those Swiss players will be shaking like leaves. They've done so well to get it to this stage, and for every chance that Spain had, they just couldn't break down the Swiss block. And ultimately, in the end, they get what they deserved. You know, we looked at the game. It was the unfortunate own goal in the first 10 minutes, and Bolo's hamstring injury, the red card, which wasn't really a red card. All these certain things that were looking like they weren't going to go Switzerland's way. And now they find themselves here with a chance to become history makers, to become the best Switzerland team there's ever been in history, to make a semi-final. And I mean, we said before, Spain, they've been in 9 penalty shootouts. They've won 5, lost 4. So it's a very, very even record when it comes to penalty shootouts. Switzerland, I think they were saying, have won their last 3 penalty shootouts. So obviously it doesn't matter when it comes to form on penalties. It's all down to the situation in hand. And of course, I think the world right now is backing Switzerland to go through and go to a semi-final. Spain didn't look great today. Again, another one of those performances where it's very topsy-turvy with Luis Enrique's side. They had the chances to win this game. They could have buried it quite easily in extra time, but now it's down to Unai Simon and Jan Sommer, the 2 heroes. And of course, I said it earlier, if you're going to base it on who's had the better game, of course, Jan Sommer has been the man who's had so much work to do in this game. But Unai Simon, of course, hasn't been tested much. He'll still know roughly, and he'll have an idea of where to go with some of these penalties. But in the end, the pressure is all on Spain, because if Luis Enrique's side get dumped out here, Belgium or Italy, who kick off in half an hour, although they'll be quite happy Switzerland have gone through, there's something special in the air tonight for Switzerland, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it or not, but I tell you something, if I was a Swiss player, to get Spain to penalties, I'd be confident to step up to the spot, but it's all down to the 12 yards now.
Well, I think it'll be
any of these players' international careers.
I think it'll be interesting for both sides, because they both have players that have missed penalties still on the pitch. Will Gerard Moreno step up again? Will Ricardo Rodriguez step up again? We just don't know at this point. And as you say, I appreciate in the chat the people that were cheering on Switzerland late in the game. Much appreciated from all of you. But we don't know what's going to happen, as they're just deciding on where the kicks are going to be taken.
I think as well, on my screen, I'm a little bit ahead, but I think Michael Oliver is making a very, very clear point. You'll see it in a second. I think he's just basically said, if you are over the line, the penalty will get taken again. Because obviously, if you've been with the news, I think there was a lot of people trying to get the France-Switzerland game to be replayed because the last penalty, they said he was over the line. So I think he's making a very clear point here. Do not step over the line or your penalty will have to be retaken again.
He wasn't off the line. I've looked at that a million times. But anyway, thank you, Josh, because I am obviously a little bit behind. So thank you very much, my friend. Best of luck to Switzerland here. I'm just waiting now. I'm just seeing what Josh was talking about on my screen. But as I say, if you are new in the chat, wait till I react to the penalties before you put anything. If you're going to put anything, we appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. They fought this long, and Switzerland v Spain will be settled by a penalty shootout. I'm sorry if I miss your comments. I'll be watching the penalties, so I do apologise if I miss them. Just for now, Jan Sommer is in net for the first penalty. So Spain have won the right to go first, and it's Sergio Busquets. Definitely the most experienced man in this team. For Spain. Up against Jan Sommer. Oh, he's in the post! Can you believe it? The most experienced man in the Spanish squad has blinked first. He's hit the post. And Spain's first penalty is missed. Up next for Switzerland. How is your nerve? Up next for Switzerland is Gavranovic. Pretty sure he took one in the last shootout that they played just literally a few days ago. His attempt is first after... No, that's an ugly grape. As Sergio Busquets missed his pen. Gavranovic. Calm! Into the corner. Composed. 1-0 Switzerland. Gavranovic, one of the better substitutes. Unfortunately, I think he's going to miss the semi-final, which is horrific considering how has it gone all this time. And they've not rehashed them yet. But it's 1-0 Switzerland. Next up is Dani Olmo. Since he came on, has not had the impact Luis Enrique will have wanted. In front of goal, he's had a few missed chances, a few wayward shots. But from 12 yards, it can be very different. The Leipzig attacking midfielder steps up, and it's a beautiful penalty into the top left-hand corner. You did no questions about that one. It's unbelievable from Dani Olmo. You can't get more in the corner than that. 1-1 between these two. And Fabian Schär, who definitely did take a penalty the last time in the shootout. Obviously, they were faultless from penalties, Switzerland, last time they took theirs. But different game, different day. Fabian Schär of Newcastle United steps up for Switzerland. 2 penalties taken for Spain, 1 for Switzerland. Will he miss and tie it up, or will he keep the advantage in the Swiss's favour? It's Fabian Schär. It's a central run-up, and it's saved by Unai Simon, and it is a poor penalty. If I'm being 100% honest, it was a slow run-up. Maybe he overthought it in the end. Didn't go for power, and he ended up going straight into the keeper's hands, and that's a bad penalty from Fabian Schär. But a good save by Unai Simon. He had to make the save. 1-1 after 2 penalties each. Next up for Spain. Can't quite say. It's Rodri, who just got brought on late in the game for Pedri. Maybe for this specific reason. Rodri into the hands of Jan Sommer. It's 1-1 still. Sommer, the hero again, makes the save. Can you believe it? Jan Sommer has saved another penalty, and this time it's from Man City's Rodri, who he brought on for that specific reason, I think. And it's a good save by Jan Sommer. And if he didn't already have some fans today, he'll have some more now. Up steps Manuel Akanji, who has taken penalties again. Last game, took a penalty in this one. And this, again, to keep the advantage with Switzerland. Both teams, well, this is Switzerland's third. Spain already have 3 penalties taken. To give Switzerland the advantage again, it's Manuel Akanji, the centre-back from Dortmund. Unai Simon bouncing on his line. Will it trick Unai? It will trick Akanji. Simon saves again. And Manuel Akanji is more in the corner than Fabian Schär's is, but Unai Simon's done very well and he's got down and saved it. And they've just not been able to make their advantage pay, and it's poor from Switzerland. Poor from Akanji, really poor from him and Schär. But up to Jan Sommer again. It's Gerard Moreno this time. He's had a few missed chances, but surely from 12 yards. And he lashes that into the top corner, no problem for Spain. He lashes that into the top corner. Couldn't get much better than that. From Gerard Moreno, no chance for Sommer. Next up for Switzerland, I can't quite see at the moment. Unai Simon done a very good job at saving these penalties, by the way. It's Ruben Vargas, who has been on from early in the game because of the injury to Breel, Donald and Bolo. And I think if he misses this, could be game over for Switzerland and what has been a heroic journey for them. Unai Simon bouncing on his line again. It's distracted 2 of the last 3. Vargas over the bar. There you go. It's there for Spain to win now. And Unai Simon bouncing up and down in his line has completely foxed out Ruben Vargas as he goes way over the crossbar. It's terrible penalty. And for Spain to win it, I can't even see who it is. It's Oyarzabal for Spain to win it. 3 missed in a row for Switzerland. And to be fair, for a team that was faultless in penalties a couple nights ago, it's a complete night and day performance today. And it's just been bad penalties. A few good saves. I've got to admit, Simon has made some good saves, but especially Vargas is extremely poor penalty. And I think Oyarzabal scores, and it's the end of the road for Switzerland. And it's been a good road, but they've had chances to win this one. And I'm pretty sure Oyarzabal should finish this with a plum and send Spain into the semi-finals of the championships. It's Oyarzabal. It's into the bottom corner, and it's exactly what I said would happen. It's 3-1 Spain. Game over. No excuses for Switzerland. They tried valiantly. But in extra time, they played well, and it's just on penalties in the end where they have been outfoxed. Poor penalties. Manuel Akanji's terrible penalty. Ruben Vargas' really bad penalty. And okay, again from Fabian Schär. Jan Sommer tried his best, but game over. Switzerland are out. Josh, please.
Dogged performance, isn't it, from Spain? At the end of the day, we said it before. It's one of those where we said it with Portugal. They had a similar run in this competition where they never won their games in normal time, and they had to fight very, very hard in their run back in 2016. Spain are doing the same, and I don't know, it's weird, but there's something special with this Spain squad. I don't know what it is, but clutch results seems to be the way that they like to do things. And, we've sat here before and we've said, Spain have looked poor and dodgy in that. I think it will come back to bite them eventually when they do face either Belgium or Italy in the next round. But for all the hard work that Switzerland put in, big, big credit to them because, to get all the way to this stage of the competition, they would have never expected to be here. They were in the tough side of the draw. It was a tough seed for them. But you could arguably say one of the trickiest groups in terms of the even nature of it. And in the end, I think Spain, they should have had this wrapped up in extra time. They could have had 3, 4, maybe even 5 in extra time if they wanted to. And at the end of the day, there's something about this team. I don't know what it is. They are fighting with dogged displays. And I feel, as much as luck might not be on their sides when it comes to winning matches in normal time, are they going to do it? Are they going to be the team that we sit here at the end of this competition and say they never put in a great performance, but they're the ones lifting it? Because it feels Portugal. It feels like Portugal all over again.
Well, they got a fair slice of luck from the terrible refereeing in the end of normal time. But in penalty shootouts, you've got to finish your penalties. Sommer tried his best, bless him. Sommer could not do any more than what he did. And I'm just looking at the images and I feel sorry for Ruben Vargas. He genuinely looks inconsolable from everyone. Even Thiago was over there trying to help him. From a Switzerland perspective, unbelievable how they've performed in this game. France were the better team on paper. They went toe-to-toe with them and beat them. They went toe-to-toe with Spain, had plenty of chances to beat them in the penalty shootout, and probably could have gone through on the day. Spain, fair whopper luck from them today, but they won't care. They're in the next round. It's what they do. But unlucky for Switzerland. Proud of them. They didn't go out with a whimper like we said at halftime we were worried they were going to do. They went out valiantly. And I can't go over Jan Sommer's performance. I don't know how he's lost today's game. It feels harsh.
He played really well, played his absolute heart out, and you can say the same for everybody in this tournament we've either played. This is a fairy tale story, you could say, for Switzerland. And, as we said before, that they were only a penalty shootout away from becoming the greatest Swiss team in history. And this will be remembered for Switzerland fans for a long, long time. The games, as we said, France and Spain, they already played Italy in the group stages. The tough group that they had with Turkey in there and Wales, it wasn't going to be easy for them to go on a run in this competition. And as I said before, the seeding, with the fact that they were going to have to face the big dogs, they played so well, and a big credit to them. But Spain, I just feel like there's something about it, and it's not even like a good thing about them. It's just they are slowly edging their way through. And for what you could arguably, for me, say is one of the weirdest, best and worst teams of the tournament. They are great going forward. They are terrible at the back. They can score and they can't, but it's working, and I don't know how. And that game, of course, they face Belgium or Italy, which I'll be covering in about 5 minutes' time with that game.
Whoa.
There is a real potential for me. Spain could somehow get a backdoor entrance into the final and maybe even win it.
I just worry about the playing 240 minutes of football in a short period of time. They do have decent depth, to be fair. There's not a massive drop-off from the players on the bench to the players on the pitch. I don't know how far they can go. It'll be difficult coming up against Belgium or Italy. But you're right, they're putting in some mesmerising performances and a whole lot of ugly performances. But somehow they're in the semi-finals of the Euros, believe it or not. And do they deserve to be there? Make your own mind up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those where you could easily say they deserve to be knocked out in the group stages when they were sat near the bottom of the group. But this is the way tournament football works. It's a very special thing. You could play absolutely terrible for the whole tournament and still win it. The finest of margins are the differences between a team being booted out bottom of the group and a team winning the whole thing. And as I said, it is a special team, this Spain side. On paper, they are the team to watch of the next decade. They have got the stars, and things will align for them with the likes of Pedri and Oyarzabal, who I've got to say was fantastic with his penalty. He looked calm and composed to be the man at such a young age to step up and be the hero of this team. But Luis Enrique, he's got something going good with his squad, and let's be honest, if they make the semi-final, if they're in the final, or their tournament ends in the semi-final without playing good, then what are Spain like at the best? And that's the scary thing for me. And a big credit to them because, as you said before, 240 minutes of tournament football is a lot, and it will take a big, massive toll on them. But if Belgium and Italy, who kick off in 10 minutes' time, if they go to extra time, then it could be a very interesting situation going into that semi-final game. But for time-wise, as I said, I'm going to be live in literally about less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to quickly rush and get everything sorted. So that is where we're going to finish the stream for now. So if you do want to join us for that, then literally stay on the channel. Don't go anywhere. I will be, a minute or two tops. We'll go through the lineups for that game and get it all sorted. So stick around on the channel, F5, and then we'll be up on there. We've got, of course, the other two quarterfinals tomorrow. We've got Czech Republic against Denmark. Rowan's covering the first game at 10-5. And then the England match, someone might be covering it. Someone might not be. You'll just have to find out on the day and see if we're live with it or not. But for now, a big, massive thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you, Louis, for the donation. Thank you, Sean, earlier as well for joining the premium subscription. And a big, massive thank you to Kieran as well, because, as an English-Swiss fan, it's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it has. And it's unfortunate because I do feel the performance they put in was worthy of going to the semi-final. They were all battling out there today, and as I say, heroic in the end. But sometimes you just need a little bit of luck on your side, and God, did they have none of the luck today. Injuries, bloody whatever else, penalties. But all I'll say is Jan Sommer is a brick wall in disguise, and I'm proud of Switzerland. On to the next one.
On to the next one, indeed. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the stream. Don't forget, if you're new as always, don't forget to leave a like, subscription to the channel. We will be live in literally about 2 minutes' time, so don't go anywhere because the next game up is Belgium against Italy. It should be a corker. But as for now, we will see you in about 2 minutes' time. See you.